is taking your jacket off inside.
Or even
Bullshit.
putting your jacket on inside and then people being like, oh, you shouldn't have done that. You won't feel the benefit. And I'm like, that. I mean, the jacket's going to insulate me the same regardless of where I put it on or off.
Yeah, I'd rather not be cold in the house and not be cold outside.
Damn it, Susan.
Fucking
Beef with Susan.
Such a
just
Susan
trying to
thing.
think of an older person name.
Is called Susan, and you've lost her now.
Wow. Apologies, Susan.
Are we quiet, or is our just wavy very small?
Are we okay?
That's not the response I was expecting.
Oh shit! I sneezed.
You don't say.
I might sneeze again. This is the bad thing.
Is this because you took your coat off too soon?
Oh, you've got the flu.
I got the flu from just taking my jacket off. I had my pants around my ankles. I was shitting. And here we go. Hello and welcome to BeansTalk, episode 9. Longer than any of us thought this would actually go on.
Good Lord, 9. I'm back.
Yeah,
you're
not
back.
Been here in
Oli
a while.
Saville returns after a 2-week hiatus. It's Oli Saville's music. Da 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 da. Lauren Best also rejoins us from the pits of despair.
Hello.
And Jacob Dickens is also here.
It's a full house of beans. I've never got anything better to do, so I'm always here.
Yes, I missed
always
a
good
week
way
because someone had the audacity to have a birthday that I needed to shop for, and then I missed another week because Grandma
Calf.
Grandma decided to have a grandma moment.
Grandma's okay.
Me.
It wasn't the grandma moment. It was my mum texting me, "Your grandma's in hospital. We'll explain later."
It's a bit of a vague one, isn't it? It's going to make you worry.
She's 94. Like, hospital doesn't give me good vibes. No, she's okay. She's okay.
She thinks you've got a parrot now.
She thinks I've got a parrot.
Well, it's a good, there's always a benefit. You can just say like, oh yeah, you can see the parrot another time.
For the last time, his name's Melvin and he's a dog.
So my mum went to visit her because basically she's okay. Her hip is buggered, but she'll roll around everywhere from.
She's got a skateboard now.
And my mum was just flicking through some pictures and got some pictures of us on our yearly visit to the parrot sanctuary. And she's like, "Oh yeah, there's Oliver and his parrot," just as if it was the most normal thing.
He's known for his parrot. Bless him.
But now I'm back.
Hey.
Yeah.
Now you're back.
I only have one more Sunday that I ever have to work because our schedules are changing at my job.
Ooh.
So I will nearly always have Sundays free soon.
No, we can't get rid of you.
Absolutely.
Brilliant. You're gonna be you're gonna get dragged into so many weird projects.
Cripes.
Cripes indeed.
Have you not played the new Dragon Quest? There's that really really Bristol girl, and she's like cripes all the time. Terrible.
Played the demo and it was quite jarring.
Terrible voice acting in that Dragon Age game.
Excuse me. It's actually it's really, really good voice acting actually.
We watched
almost on par with the first Xenoblade Chronicles voice acting.
That's also very. My only point of reference for that is Shulk in Smash, and even then, that's still pretty painful.
That is because the British localization team that took over that project, because Nintendo basically just sort of like, we're never going to really release it over here. Just sort of like, we needed voice actors. Who have we got? Local soap stars. No one famous, just like people who would like be in the wings for like Coronation Street in 5 years.
So the first Xenoblade Chronicles had that girl that was a Doctor Who assistant.
Oh yeah.
Oh really?
Oh.
I
We've been
can't-
watching Doctor Who over
and I-
lockdown, so I actually
and I-
might
and I can't
know who this
remember her
is.
name.
Describe her.
The Matt Smith one, I believe. Not
Amy Pond.
No,
Is it Clara?
that's the one.
Clara.
It was she's in it.
Oh,
Yeah.
we've not got that far. I'm still in the Amy Pond and Rory area.
Stephen Moffat's.
It's not as good as it used to be. I can now say that.
Yeah, David Tennant era for life.
Yeah,
No.
absolutely.
Yeah.
David
Well,
Tennant.
yeah, David
is the
Tennant.
one.
No, because David Tennant also has some of the worst Doctor Who episodes.
Like what?
The
The
Angels was
Absorber-Loft.
amazing.
The Angels are there with
Everyone remembers the big David Tennant episodes, but everyone also forgets the entire Martha Jones series.
No, I
was
liked
alright.
Martha. I liked Martha.
Everyone forgets that Catherine
have
Tate was
forgotten
the
Martha.
fucking worst.
Do not. Donna is the best companion.
No, Martha
Donna-
was
I
my
love
favourite.
Donna.
The only benefit to Donna was Wilf.
He was great too.
I
what's
his
enjoyed the episode
Bernard
where
Cribbins.
I enjoyed the episode where they literally met Satan.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember
But
that.
everyone forgets that David Tennant had like a long run, and a majority of those episodes were okay,
I liked
with some of them being
The-
really good, and then some of them being really bad.
But don't
The
get
only
me
one
wrong,
I remember really hating was the one that had Peter Kay in it.
Yep, the Absorber-Loft episode is maybe the worst episode of...
Absolutely dreadful. And it also has a big focus on ELO, which is also a particular trigger point for me because my mum is literally obsessed with them. Have you guys heard about my mum's ELO obsession?
no.
I have not. You have to tell us about your
Go
mum's
on.
ELO
So,
obsession,
Literally,
please.
I've never heard her talk about ELO until like maybe 2 or 3 years ago. But in those 2 or 3 years since, she was like, "Oh no, I've always liked them. I've always been really into them." She's spent thousands of pounds on ELO memorabilia. My bedroom has been converted into an ELO-based guest room.
Oh my god.
I have a picture of it
Oh,
that I could
send
send you
Please
guys.
send it.
Please, because
She was going to be
that-
spending thousands of pounds going to see them this year, but obviously Corona happened and she can't see them. But it's just meant that she just buys more and more ELO-based tat. She's like literally one of those super fans that you see on the
That's-
TV. Yeah,
That's incredible.
I can't believe I've not told you guys about that. Yeah,
I
she was going to have an ELO party this year as well, and that
Oh
never
my
happened.
god.
The only way that me and
What?
Hannah said that we were going to go is if we could dress as Star-Lord and Gamora. It's mental, yeah.
Oh my
Oh my
god.
God.
I think I could only name you one ELO song.
I could until,
2 years
maybe
ago.
maybe 2 years
Yeah,
ago.
They-
So
Now I
this-
could give you loads.
Did they make
So-
any other songs?
I know loads
Yeah.
of shit about Jeff Lynne.
So this actually coincides with like this year. I have listened to more ELO than I have in my entire life.
Oh,
As
are
in,
you
like,
sure it's not the Travelling Wilburys show? Because that's what came beforehand.
no, it's
Jacob, are they on Cameo?
Oh my god,
You could make her Christmas.
that would be the best present, wouldn't it?
no. It's just that first album that they put out. A couple songs that are not Mr. Blue Sky have now entered my Spotify
yes.
playlist.
Do you
Turn
want
to
to go and
Stone.
stay in the guest room?
Turn to
I-
Stone. I could
I
genuinely sing the chorus of Turn to Stone.
I
There's
won't
also,
make-
let me see what else is there. Xanadu, Telephone Line. There's fucking loads of them.
Yeah, my playlist doesn't get updated a lot, but when it does, those songs Jungle and Turn to Stone have now entered the Joel Loins playlist.
I don't think I know a single song.
Do you not know Mr. Blue Sky?
Not just by you saying that, no.
It was in the start of Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
And the Magic Roundabout movie.
Yeah,
Dougal.
Yeah.
you'll recognise it when you.
Yeah, I'm
When
very
you
bad
when
at,
you hear
at
it.
song names. And then...
Jacob, give us a rendition.
Yeah, go on. You make your mum
I'm not.
proud.
I will do many things on this podcast, but singing is not one of them.
I'll allow you to William Shatner spoken word it.
Also, I think it's also worth mentioning that I was halfway through watching the AEW Countdown to Full Gear on my second monitor. So for this whole conversation, I've just got Eddie Kingston paused, looking really concerned at me as we're having this whole
He doesn't
conversation.
like ELO.
He looks very angry. Yeah,
He does not
Eddie-
want to stay in Jacob's mum's stream.
he doesn't.
Eddie
don't-
Kingston is the type of guy that just doesn't like ELO because they're not hardcore enough.
They're not.
They're
It's
not
true.
corn.
Eddie Kingston looks like he exclusively listens to Suicidal Tendencies.
That's basically you.
Yeah.
Ollie is Eddie Kingston.
Yes, the tough guy Latino metal scene.
Yes, that's the one. That's you.
That's what I live in.
Anyways, yes.
Moving on.
Anyways.
ELO
I-
aside,
Yeah, I listened to your guys' responses to the question of the week in my absence.
I apologise. I didn't do my homework and had to come
Which-
up with it on the fly.
Well, Ollie
So-
also wants to join in and give it.
yeah, I almost crammed it in our tangent earlier because mine was actually going to be Dragon Quest Builders.
Okay.
Yeah. So the question for those that didn't listen last week was to convince Lauren of a game that we really, really like to play. Basically
That
that
she might
would know-
enjoy, yeah.
That she might enjoy.
So okay, I didn't answer that right then because I've not actually played Dragon Quest Builders.
You got the best friggin' choice of all of them because you live with her. I would have thought you'd had the advantage, if anything.
Well, and that was my thinking because in the last year or so after playing Dragon Quest 10?
11.
11.
Switch one.
I don't do Roman numerals.
10 was the MMO.
Yeah, I've
Mhm.
realized that I really like Dragon Quest, but I don't like building stuff. So my reasoning was to get her to play it as a test run and see if I could deal with these games.
For your own nefarious
This happens
purposes.
with literally everything. Why do you think that we got Crusader Kings? Is because he wanted to play it, but he didn't want to figure it out. So he had me play it, me figure it out, and then teach him and show him how to play it. It happens with any kind of simulation or building game.
Oh, he
Hey,
has to be the guinea pig.
Ollie,
Yeah,
I can already say that you will enjoy Dragon Quest Builders 2.
yeah.
Because it's not until the latter quarter of the game's story that any sort of permanence actually comes into play. It's a lot of doing tasks and stuff like
Just bashing shit out.
build
it-
build this town a toilet. And now you know the recipes for a toilet, so that you can take it back to your village your permanent village. So when you get to that stage of the game, you can start building all this stuff out. So it teaches you in like
that I can do.
and it's also and it has a legitimate story to it. That's the thing. It's not just an aimless wandering. Like there's a legitimate story that's split into like 3 different areas and then one big area that's your like permanent residence.
They look charming and they look something that potentially I could get very, very into.
Yeah,
but
just
they
don't play
also-
that first one.
Yeah,
Don't play the first one. Just go straight to the second one. They're totally separate games, and also the first one has a bunch of weird like weird shit that like restrictions that only Japanese RPGs who have looked at Minecraft could possibly like decipher. Like, this is the way to do it. Like, only hold 10 blocks.
I just have my reservations with any kind of crafting or any city builder that I will give it a go and then I will see someone else's and realize how much better it is than mine,
Yeah,
and I
so
will give
here's
up forever.
Here's the top tip: the 3 first places that you will build, like the 3 places that you build, you will never see them again.
That
So
appeals
don't
to me.
put
I can
don't
just
put them
bash 'em out and
don't
leave.
else. Yeah, like they have like literal guides of where to put stuff and
This is just you convincing me to play it.
yeah. But also, Lauren, it's
Yeah.
got a nice story to it.
It's got a nice story and lots of crafting and making little homes for your little friends.
And they go to the toilet and they just don't give a shit. that the
That's
door's not that there's no door on the toilet.
They take the shit instead.
They will have a big shit. They will shower. They will sleep wherever it turns nighttime, and they'll just go, "It's time for bed. I'll sleep here, I guess." Great. Until you build a designated bedroom.
You'd love that.
Well,
Pretty-
I had some thoughts on your recommendations.
Oh yes.
Oh man. Is that when you get the test results handed back in class?
Yes, you have herpes, Jacob.
Oh, jeez. In class?
Oh,
The
we both
teacher's
went.
just like,
We both went very different
Joel-
places with
Joel,
testing.
you get a B.
Oh.
Ollie, you get a C. Jacob, you've got herpes.
Oh, I didn't hear it in class. I just test results herpes.
Took a very different test to the rest of you guys.
Sorry for outing you like that.
You go on.
So yeah, I'm actually very, very interested in Danganronpa.
Yeah, boy.
I wanted to ask you some questions.
Okay, go for it. Yeah, I'll try and be as least spoilery as possible because it's always been
Yeah,
the struggle that I've had with talking about it on this podcast is that it's a very story-based game.
I looked
and-
into it and
yeah.
I was like, God damn it, this
Mhm.
sounds like my kind of jam.
It's real cool.
So where did you play it?
So I initially, well, I say initially, no, I played them on PS4 because they were all on sale. It's probably about a month and a half, 2 months ago now. So 1 and 2 come as a bundle. Then there's an anime in between, which we just finished watching a
Cute.
couple of days ago. And then there's V3, which is technically the third game, but you need to watch the anime first.
Ooh, because I
Yeah.
was thinking of getting them on Steam so me and Ollie could play them together.
Oh, good shout, yeah.
From the bed.
Yeah,
I think they're on PS4, they're on Steam. They're also on mobile as well, if you wanted.
I think Steam's probably a good because we have a
If
shared.
you got the
Steam-
laptop.
Yeah, we have a shared Steam library. That's how we knew that we were bound together for life. We
Hey.
Yes, Joel, when you get me my birthday Steam game, make sure to send
Yes.
it to Lauren's account.
Oh.
Yeah, we merged our accounts.
Oh.
That's we're basically married now.
That's like
I-
the human equivalent now
I'm
of
still not
mating for life.
entirely sure. I'm still not entirely sure what I did. I don't really know how I did it because all we really did was stop using my Steam account and just exclusively buy new games onto yours. But then all my games showed up in your library,
Oh, we did this.
Oh.
We
and
did
I'm
this
not.
because
I'm not quite sure how I did it, but they're there now.
yeah, we did.
Try installing them.
I have
it
done.
works.
They work.
They work.
Yeah.
The only difference is when I go on when it's one that I own and Lauren didn't. It just has a little icon next to it that says "From the library of whatever my name was."
Yeah, the reason we did this originally is because Ollie had XCOM 2 and he didn't have any of the DLC, but we worked out that during the Steam sale it was cheaper for us to buy the whole game again as a bundle when it was on sale than to buy
The Game of the Year edition.
than to buy the individual DLCs even when they were on sale. So we bought the bundle onto my Steam library and then we just started buying stuff on my Steam library. But yes.
Steam
This
just
is
wanted to
how
kind of push your
relationships
relationship
work.
along, yeah.
So yeah, that is I think I'm very interested. But also I feel like humouring Joel at the same time.
Humor me.
But I don't what put me off is you said that it was a DS game and I don't know how I feel about that.
What did you recommend again, Joel?
I said that the best way for Lauren to probably play Metal Gear Solid 3 was
How
on
was it?
Yeah,
3DS.
but then that means I have to buy it
Or
on a
or
DS.
You can just,
I'm sure there's other ways.
So
yes,
was
there
this
are.
category actually
Other ways.
what game can I get for free?
No, because I was going
that
to
you
buy
want me to-
Danganronpa. It never occurred to me that I would be playing. I don't know. I just don't know how it would play on a DS.
connect a controller to your PC
Yeah, I'll emulate it.
and
Well, she just came out and said it.
Yeah, I don't care. I'll do it.
PS2 version.
It's the cyber police, they're on their way.
Well, what they're going to do is lockdown. Get out my house.
Just get the PS2 ISO and emulate it. It'll be fine.
Yeah, so
Don't you mean your video game backup, Joel?
Yes.
Your purely legitimate video game
obviously-
backup?
Obviously, I will send you a copy of the disc so that you can
thank
dump it
you.
yourself.
Thank you very much. I will do that. That's what I mean by emulate. That means
Of
when you
course.
borrow, right?
Yes.
How dare we assume?
Yes.
Borrowing. Yes, I'll borrow that from somebody and I'll give it a go. But yeah, I'm actually pleasantly surprised by those things, and I
Nice.
will take it on board. However, I feel like it may be a tiny bit of time before I'm ready to move away from what I've currently been playing, but I'm sure that
Yeah.
that is, you know,
Are we moving straight into what we've been playing and doing the news afterwards? Is this what I'm hearing?
If we'd like.
Do you
I
wanna
mean, there's not much news, is there not?
talk about your little mushroom kingdom?
I'm happy for someone else to go first, if that's.
Lauren, tell me about the Ooblets.
I love
and the adventure
Ooblets.
of getting through the Ooblets.
Okay, so Ooblets came out in July. It's still in early access. You fucking did this to me, Joel. I specifically remember walking Melvin and you were popping off in the group chat about Ooblets and you were like, Lauren, you need to play Ooblets. And I remember watching the trailer whilst walking my dog and being like, holy fuck, I need to play this game. And for some reason, I just really didn't want to commit to it at that point and I kind of forgot about it. And yeah, so then
What is Ooblets? That's a question for you.
it's kind of like Pokemon meets Harvest Moon meets Animal Crossing in that you wash up on this little town, you get an abandoned farm that you have to do up, and all these tiny little creatures that you can capture. Well, you actually have to beat them in a dance battle and they fart out a seed for you to grow one of them.
Of course.
And it is my favourite thing in the world because you get the little when they fart out the seed. And I just love it so much because they squat and their eyes are like, oh, and then you get a seed.
That's a really good sound effect. We could like isolate that and sell that in a sound library.
We could. I'm very talented. And yeah, it's really cute and there's loads of it's just busy work, but it's really, really whimsical. And the game starts with like, so far up until now, your life has been a giant toot. And I'm like, God damn it, it knows me. And
Thank you.
You are my giant toot, my love.
Oh.
Yeah, earlier we were in the queue for Starbucks with the heating on and the window shut, and he kept fucking farting in the car. It was like a gas chamber. Awful.
Heck of a toot.
I had to crack the window and let it ventilate before we collected the coffees because I was worried about opening the window and just unleashing it on the baristas.
Letting that on them.
He even tipped them, so I think he was worried that he like farted at them. That was a tangent, but yeah, it's really, really cute and it's really wholesome, and the dance battles are amazing, and I'm just so obsessed. And you also can get unusual Ooblets, which is like slightly different color versions, but then you can get gleamy Ooblets, which is basically just shiny ones, like in Pokemon, where they're a different color and they have little sparkles, and they have obviously like benefits and stuff to being shiny. Sorry, gleamy. And I actually got my first gleamy on my first day of playing it, and I have since been scrolling through the Ooblets subreddit, and some people are like, day 70 of playing Ooblets, and I finally got my first gleamy, and I'm just like, ooh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I got good luck for this kind of thing, as I'm just remembering how you were with Genshin as well.
Oh yeah, with my insane pulls.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a gleamy Fleeble, which is the
Sorry, that sounds like something Joel would cook.
It's my gleamy flavor.
Oh, is that a Jewish meal? Sounds delicious. Yeah, it's not the Joel.
Aye.
What? Sorry, because you're the only one that's played this. What club did you pick? Because at the beginning you pick a club, and that gives you your first Ooblet. So I picked the Moss Sprouts, which is the Nature Club. We have a tree house, and I got given a Shrumbo, which is like a big toadstool Pokemon, and he is beautiful.
A big toadstool Pokemon.
No. Yeah, that's what he looks like, a big toadstool Pokemon. He's an Ooblet.
Hang on, I'm going to have to...
I think I can see it. I'm looking at pictures on Google Images of Ooblets right now.
Yeah, what was your first Ooblet? That'll help me.
Lauren, I'm going to be honest. When was the last time I played Ooblets?
I don't know, but it's just
when it launched on Epic.
I just need someone to talk about Ooblets with.
I'm tempted.
Joel,
It's been a little.
yes.
Hang
I
on,
need to
hang on.
look at. I need to look at the guys that because I cannot remember which one.
Let me convince Jacob, because you've neglected to mention that Ooblets is a secret card game.
Oh, it's a card game and they dance. So basically when you
Ooh.
go into a battle, it's actually a dance battle, right? So
Yes.
you pick your squad and
Right.
so however many are in the opponent's squad is how many you pick, and then
Mhm.
you hit your dance moves with cards, and it depends on how many beats you've got, and then the
Oh.
cards are like, oh, gain a beat and 1 hype, and then the game that they're like flinty flounce, and you just do your move, and then there's like some sick beats in the background, and
Whoa.
they're all in like sync. And
So that's the
It
thing
sounds
about
like Slay the
Ooblets.
Spire.
So
in
this
how it
is the thing
works.
about Ooblets is that the music is like shouldn't be as good as it is.
oh, I'm proper jammed to
Yeah.
it. I'm sitting there like whacking out some moves at the same time.
Because
Hmm.
each play session that you do with it, you can see hear the same music and see the same stuff like over and over again, similar to like a Pokemon sort of battle. You hear the same music over and over, but it doesn't get boring.
No, honestly, it is.
Um,
But also, you and Hannah, you do, like Stardew Valley, Harvest Moon. Does that?
Hannah's far more into the kind of farmy sort of games than I am.
She will
So,
love this, Hannah. If you're listening,
she
do
does like
it.
the
Do
Pokemon as
it.
well.
I
Yeah.
would also maybe recommend waiting until the game is out of early
No,
access.
I would not. If you're going to play it, buy it now because it's only $19.99, and they have said it's going up as soon as they release version 1.0. So if you're going to play it, at least buy it now, even if you're going to wait, because the price will
I
go up.
see. Okay.
Because when I last played it, there were several areas and several things in that game that were just not available. So I
Loads of
don't know if
stuff.
they.
Loads of stuff has come out now. So what they've said is that every couple of months they're going to release a new area. So there's currently 3 areas with 1 more on the way. Nullware just came out, and they have said that because obviously this came in July, and they said that they were expecting it to be in early access for about a year. So there's still probably about 6 months or so before they're planning on releasing it fully, but they are updating it. And to be fair, like I haven't really found any bugs, and I've played it relentlessly for about 3 days.
Yeah, so there weren't any bugs or anything. It was just more of like, okay, I have hit the wall of stuff to do in this game.
There's a lot
And
more stuff now.
yeah, it's now also getting to the point where it's been long enough where I will probably just delete my save and start again.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, definitely. I think I'm going to do that by the time the new one, when it actually properly comes out, I will probably start again. But I
Like the fact I'm having to Google what I chose and I forgot what Shrumbo was is a travesty because Shrumbo is cool as shit.
Are
Yep.
there a lot of variety in
Yes.
Ooblets?
There are a lot of variety. There's even an Alamac.
Yes.
Of course.
So like you like kind of like a bestiary of Ooblets.
Oh, did you mean almanac?
Yes.
Oh.
What did I say?
I
Alamac.
still don't know what that is.
I thought you were literally describing a single ooblet, and it's like, oh, its name is Alamac.
Yes,
But no, yeah.
he is wonderful.
An almanac, like in Back to the Future.
Yes, like a bestiary of Ooblets.
Yes.
I'll go with that
A
description.
Pokédex.
Yes. And so like in order to actually be allowed to dance battle, you have to meet their requirements. So
Right.
they all require a different thing from you. Some of them just want some sweetie beeties, which is a particular root vegetable you can grow on your farm. Some of them might want a quib tart, which is a tart that you cook made of quibs, which you can find by shaking trees. And let me tell you, it hasn't happened to me, but imagine if you don't focus on collecting recipes, which yes, you do, and you find, oh my god, look, it's a gleamy ooblet, but I've never found the recipe, which heartbreak. So get your recipes, kids. And
Top tip.
yeah. So like you also can decorate your house, you can expand your house, you can expand your farm. There's loads of like upgrades. There's a lot of collecting work, and it's not just the story. Like if you ignored all of that and you just wanted to blast through the story, yes, you wouldn't play as much. There wouldn't be as much content, but there's a lot to actually do and complete.
Yeah.
So it's actually very enjoyable to take your time and stuff. Like, I played probably 2 in-game weeks before I even went to the next area because I had too much to do.
Mm.
So
Cool.
I would wholeheartedly recommend Ooblets.
Interesting. Is it very kind of demanding on a spec level? It doesn't look like
No.
it.
No.
You're
So
basically
Lauren,
running
Just
it
because I
on
know you were
mobile.
waiting for your laptop for a long time
It's only
to
because
play it.
the other laptop I was, my old laptop was literally like a 5-year-old HP Pavilion, which was not exactly running great.
Hmm.
And I could have easily played it on the laptop that me and Ollie have together, but I knew that I'm a very
What she's
obsessive.
politely trying to say is that I hog this laptop.
And I knew that I was
She
going
would
to.
have wanted it too much.
Exactly, and I knew that I needed to be in the position where I could play it on a device that I didn't have to share.
That's fair.
But it
That
isn't.
makes a lot of sense.
I just wanted my own laptop so that I could just sit for 5 hours and play it without Ollie going, "Can I play on the laptop?"
so yeah, you're
That is
Exactly
how I
like that.
sound.
you're on a Ryzen, you're on a Zen 2 CPU sort of thing
Yeah.
with Vega 8 graphics,
Uh-huh.
uh,
I have
a
no problem.
laptop.
Yeah, it's run super smooth. I've had no issues with the gameplay, and I would thoroughly recommend it because it is very, very wholesome, and I love it, and it's what we need in 2020.
Hmm. Hmm.
Anything else, Lauren?
Yes, actually, I know this is very shocking to everyone because I'm usually playing games that are like several years old, and I don't play anything new, but. My friend Joss came round before we hit lockdown and he lent me Man of Medan.
It's not.
Oh yeah.
What's new?
I mean, it's like a year old.
Yeah, but I've played a game that's new to me.
It's relatively new, yes.
And yes, I played that. I finished it in like a day. And I'm really fucking mad. I'm so angry.
So the reason you are mad is fairly spoiler filled, I believe, of just like a result of like how that
Yes.
game can end.
So basically, it's very much, basically just a new version of Until Dawn in the same way that you have certain amount of people that you're controlling with like choice-based decisions and quick time events, and you have like an end goal of like a specific time where you have to get all of your characters to. Obviously, same vein of Until Dawn is decisions you make can result in the untimely demise of your characters. And I was doing very well, and then I all of a sudden wasn't, and the game was over, and I was very, very mad. But it's a very short game.
So what meant you will be able to easily get back to that point?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I can replay the chapter. But
it's just whether you want to be bothered to do
I'm very salty, and I'm just like,
do you know what? On principle, not going to do it.
Yeah, I love a choice-based game, and it is a good game. Basically, the plot, without spoiling anything, is you have 5 characters that you are on like a scuba diving holiday, and you through some events that you would find out if you played it, end up on an abandoned vessel, which is like a massive, massive ship, and certain events transpire, and you want to get off the ship, but it's got its secrets, and stuff goes down, and you've got to try and keep everybody safe and well and escape.
But also prepare for something that didn't seem to bother you as much, but horrible, horrible frame rate.
Is it chunky?
It is chunky, yeah. And
I kept dipping in, I kept coming downstairs and just thinking, why are you watching a slideshow?
It is, yeah. I mean, I was playing on a PS4 Pro, and it doesn't play nicely. I mean, it didn't bother me. It was playable, but it's very slow and it's not very seamless. That's what I will say. It's quite like the movement isn't amazing. It is also not the best plot. I enjoyed it, but it was probably not as good as other choice-based games. Like, I know
I
that...
think this whole Dark Pictures anthology thing, I don't think you can expect too much in the way of storytelling. I think that they're just going for B-movie horrors.
Yeah.
Mm.
I enjoyed it, but comparing it to other games like Until Dawn and Detroit Become Human, which I know Ollie's not a fan of the writer of Detroit, but
David Cage.
yes, I loved that, and
Yeah.
I think I'm always going to compare things to that because I personally thought that was the best one I've played. But I also thought Until Dawn was better. However, I am going to play Little Hope next, so I'll be able to let you know what my thoughts are on the next installment. But I would still recommend it for anyone who actually enjoys this kind of game because you can actually get Little Hope and Man of Medan as like a combo set.
Okay.
So I will probably be stealing Little Hope off Joss next because he's just finished it. So
Oh, nice.
I will be able to let you know how that one goes because he said that one was better.
Yeah. Cool. It's not what I expected at all because I've heard people talk about it before, but this is the first time I've ever actually looked at it, and it's doesn't look like the way I thought it did or anything.
No, it was totally different to how I expected as well. It's very, it's just not very long. I definitely finished it in about 4 hours.
And is it a full price release as far as we know?
I think the combo one where you get it with Little Hope, it
Oh,
works
yeah,
out
yeah.
cheaper.
Yeah, I think all of these I don't know if they were like 25 quid, something like that. I
Yeah.
don't think they were full priced. I think when they've moved towards, obviously you had Until Dawn, which was, I think, substantially bigger than these ones,
Yeah.
and then moving it basically to like almost episodic titles
Yeah.
with all these little Dark Pictures things. I think I know they plan to get one out every 6 months and then failed.
Wow. That's a quick turnaround. Yeah.
Yeah, so I wouldn't expect full priced
Okay.
substantial
Interesting.
releases. Yeah, I know there was like a year between the last two, so they already failed on that goal. But I suppose we can blame diseases for that.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, like, I have been wanting to replay Detroit Become Human, but what is it? It's somehow included with the PS5.
It's part of that
Oh,
big
is it
old
now?
bundle that you get with PS
Oh,
Plus and the PS5.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I can't even think what I know. Bloodborne's in it.
I actually might play that because there's a few games in there
Yeah.
that I will be getting
would-
around to because I never actually finished God of War.
Oh.
So I need to play that when I get my PS5.
I would 100% recommend. I know Ollie really doesn't like David Cage, but
Yeah.
I loved it. It was I think the problem is that was the first one I'd played.
Yeah.
And it's really set a bar for me in decision games, and it's a lot longer, it's a lot more intricate, and one thing I really like about Detroit is that it has this massive map of your decisions.
Yeah.
So you can see every single pinpoint and every single decision and why it went that way. And it's just really, really intricate and really good. And I remember really wanting to replay it because I was unhappy with some of my endings.
Ooh.
I
Yeah.
got some pretty gruesome endings for some of them. So
I have played David Cage games before, and I have watched people play them. And I have kind of a guilty pleasure for them. I'll say they can be a bit hammy sometimes, but they're enjoyable overall.
I think all David Cage's games are monstrously shit.
Here comes Joel to tell Lauren why she doesn't like Detroit.
Let me like my likes.
I'm kind of Team Joel on this.
Oh no,
Need I remind you?
They're really schlocky, but
Indigo Prophecy,
that's the one I've played.
bugs,
I love Fahrenheit.
The alien bugs towards the middle of that game, or Heavy Rain with its
Jason.
with its fucking, oh my god, what was it the chainsaw guy in the house chase, and also the hilarious supermarket chase that you can do and just continuously fuck up.
Press X to Jason.
And then Detroit is a whole kettle of fish that I'm not willing to get into.
What the heck was the one that came in between Heavy Rain and Thingy that had Ellen Page in it?
Beyond Two Souls.
That was it.
Fuck.
I watched Jesse Cox play that. I didn't play that myself.
That game actually led to Ellen Page being tipped off about
Last of Us, right?
The Last of Us,
Yeah.
because obviously, shit, I played the part 2. What's she called?
Ellie.
Ellie. Ellie looks a lot like Ellen Page.
Yes.
So Ellen
basically
Page's
is,
people
yeah.
tried to sue her.
Hmm.
I know
Tried to
Willem
sue
Dafoe did
Ellie.
not like. Yeah, I know Willem Dafoe did not like his time on that game.
Really? Yeah.
You can pretty
Shame.
much look at the
I
dead
didn't
face.
I didn't know that he was in it. I've
He
not
is,
seen
yeah,
anything
yeah.
from
He's
that
a
game.
main character.
I fucking love Willem Dafoe.
Oh yeah, he's great.
We watched The Lighthouse the other day, and he is just fantastic. He is so fucking bonkers.
Because I've been on a Spider-Man binge, I've been watching a lot of clips of him in Spider-Man 1, and
he is the perfect Green Goblin, and I still resent the Green Goblin mask because we didn't get. Willem Dafoe already has the Green Goblin face.
True.
And
He's
they
got
gave him
too
a
many
mask.
bones in his face.
They just gave him a mask that covered everything up, and like I just paint him green. That's all I want. I want a
Paint him
green
green
Willem
and give him
Dafoe.
that purple and the purple windsock on his head.
The little
Absolutely.
sleepy time cap.
Are you in or are you out?
I mean, it still has him giving Spider-Man that light little smack on top of the head when he's like sat on the rooftop. That's one of my favorite moments.
And
It also
did give
cemented him as
the openable eye things, just so
Oh,
we
yeah.
could see his crazy eyes.
I love all the designs in those movies, even in Spider-Man 3. Just like all the villain designs and stuff, because you can tell Sam Raimi and the crew were just like, we need to make this look as much like the comic books that people know as much as possible. So like Aunt May literally looks like a 1-to-1 shot of like her in the 60s, because everyone just knows Aunt May is an old doddering old lady.
Yeah.
Um,
She's not hot like in the new ones.
no, which is weird. I'm gonna be honest.
I'm talking about the video game, by the way. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know.
We got a Sam Raimi tangent. That could be a show on its own.
That could be a show on its own, because fuck, Evil Dead 2 is. I don't know. Evil Dead 2 is amazing, but I have a very big soft spot for Army of Darkness. Especially like the scene where he's fighting tons of skeletons and they've obviously no budget, so they're just throwing rubber skeletons at him.
I love Army of Darkness.
You just perked up again when we got off Spider-Man and onto Evil Dead.
It's a great thing that was gifted to us in the world.
Does anybody remember the game where you had like a little midget sidekick?
So
that you could throw at people.
You say this, there is a video that has just been released on YouTube by Civvy11, who does reviews of like old PC games and stuff. He's actually just played through it and has a little video review on that game. So I remembered that game and I was about to bring it up as well because of this video.
I played that game on an OXM demo disc, and I replayed the demo so many times.
It doesn't look too bad.
It wasn't awful from what I remember, and what I remember is very little. So I maybe shouldn't go back and play that and taint this wonderful memory.
I will send you a link. I will send you a link to that video so that you can vicariously live.
Can you even access that game anywhere anymore? Is that something that I would have to just hunt down in CEX and pick it up for 70p?
The PC version exists out there.
Well, we've just missed Halloween.
You will be able to easily find that thing at the minute because of it coming to the limelight again. Oliver.
Hello.
Tell me games that you have played recently, then.
So I'll start with Death Stranding because
here we go.
Please do.
I bought that a couple of weeks ago. I haven't played it in about a week. The last time I went on it, my total playtime for that session was probably about 5 minutes
Yep,
because I'd
you
forgotten where I
disappointed me.
was. I booted up the game. I was in the middle of nowhere. I had a lot of stuff on my back. I walked into a river and I floated away and lost all my stuff, and I turned the game off.
So Ollie has this. Ollie was describing to me how he plays this game, and it immediately became apparent that Ollie is playing this game wrong.
I'm sure I am. Please tell me how wrong I am.
In that he's over. So Death Stranding, you can pack Norman Reedus up with all different stuff. You know, you can take on multiple missions all at once.
Oh, and Norman is packing. Trust me.
Yeah, Norman.
I build
Norman's-
a Jenga tower on the back of Norman.
What you should do is just sort of like take a couple missions at a time and put a couple things on your back instead of everything, because you still need to, like, you can put everything on your back, and you do get some upgrades later on that will let you carry even more. I think up to like 150 kilograms on your back.
So my issue is not that I'm taking too many deliveries or overpacking. It's that I pick up everything that I find along the way.
Stop it!
And I can't break this habit.
It's a literal infinite supply of shit. And it is shit. Like none of the stuff on the floor genuinely matters unless you are going for a 100% playthrough. And even then, it's because it's every time you log in or every time you lose connection and then re-log in or whatever, it's throwing you into a different server. So it's just repopulating where you've been with new shit that other players or the game has just decided, if there's not enough players on this instance, like, hey, we're just gonna throw a bunch of shit and
this
fake it in
shit is
multiplayer.
just stuff that other players have dropped.
Yep, they've probably tripped up or something, or running away from a BT, or gotten into a fight,
fallen into a river and floated away.
Exactly. So someone somewhere has probably found all the stuff that you have at the bottom of the river and taken it, because most of it's already damaged quite a bit because the timefall rain has come through.
Yeah, the timefall
aged it.
That got me a little bit confused at first, because I was thinking that the rain was actually breaking all my stuff, and it is and it isn't, because it took me quite a while to realize that you had the container and then the actual stuff in the container. Yeah. So I got to a point where all my containers were broken, and I was like, do I even bother turning these things in? Like, what's the point of this? And I didn't realize that the stuff inside them is still okay. It's just now if I fall over,
it's going to get damaged.
Yeah.
Yeah. The game comes off as very, how do I put it? Very intense.
Yeah.
As in like there's a lot to manage, you know, you're managing your
there is very little to do, but a lot to take in.
Like, yeah, so you're managing like how long your shoes are gonna last, how long, you know, has Norman peed recently, you know, have you made pee and poo poo bombs, have you got enough blood packs, you know, for health or bullets?
I don't have a gun yet.
Yeah, so eventually you'll get a gun, and that's why they keep taking your blood. But, you know, you start monitoring like a ton of stuff, but then you start to realize, like, oh, actually, a lot of this stuff is just like, I don't, as long as I make it to the end point with the package, there is no actual failure state. There's no like,
it's just a lesser star rating.
Yeah, and it, to be honest, does not matter. I would just like say, like, hey, see that story through. I want to know Ollie Savile's opinion on the story of Death Stranding, because boy, does it never turn off.
So yeah, I'm not particularly far into the story. I've done a lot of wandering and just side jobs because I really like the world.
Yeah, the world is. It's why I have it installed on my PC, ready to go. Is basically so that I can see that world all over again.
It is just so bleak.
And but in like,
yeah.
but in like a like the way that story goes reminds me a lot of like the the positives of like a old Star Trek or something, or an old sci-fi piece where it's just it's for positivity. Like, hey, the
It's just,
world can be better.
yeah, without sounding too pretentious.
I mean, this is Death
When
Stranding. The
I
whole
mean,
game is pretentious as shit.
there,
Like,
I would argue that it's not necessarily, it's less pretentious than it is just batshit insane. But there's something in that world kind of beautiful. There's
yeah,
You can just take it in. That's all I've really done
yeah,
is just
like
walk and take it in, and these pretty ass environments and this
a lot of that
plunky
game,
plonky music.
a lot of that game leans on Kojima's, you know, gameplay theory from like from Metal Gear Solid, which is the violent method of gameplay isn't always the way forward. Sometimes the player just needs to immerse themselves within the world.
You can
It's
just stop and rock your baby.
Yeah, you can take a bath if you want to in some hot springs.
I really enjoy the
Drink a
little
monster.
music video moments as well. The first time it happened, I had no idea what was going on. I wasn't sure if I was still
Yeah,
playing.
that sort of thing, like that direct control of like the camera, zooming all the way out and you walking through this fixed camera angle sort of thing, stops. That's pretty much the only one in the game.
So you can place
Uh,
them, can't you? Have I misunderstood
so
this? You can place one of your PCPs and you can cue the music for other players.
yeah,
So
but
I
it
I
will
could
be
just be walking around and then
so
someone's
the music.
decided that I need to listen to Bring Me the Horizon
Yeah, but more
because they have a song in the game.
That's strange. That is weird.
um but it's more like when you hit certain points of like exploration, or like, hey, I see this city over the ridge of this mountain sort of thing, and I'm,
Cue the
it's a nice cute the
inspirational
music
piece.
the music kicks in at certain points, and the camera doesn't pan out all the way, it doesn't zoom out all the way and stuff like that. You just carry on playing with this music in the background, which is very nice until you get to the moment where the game suddenly kicks back in and you've hit the point where the cutscene needs to play, and then it suddenly cuts out and stuff like that. Um, I like peeing in that game because you leave a little mushroom.
I've not done much peeing. I've done most of my movements actually in my little safe house. I use the toilet so the doc can watch me.
Yeah, and then the toilet actually plays the toilet and shower actually plays a major role
Well, yeah,
in,
because
in
what's the guy's name? Hartman. Hartman.
uh
Yes.
Heartman. There's Heartman, Dead Man, Die
Yeah.
Hard Man.
So Hartman's always watching you pee, and he watches you
Yes,
shower because he just has
yes.
to kind of chime in while you're in there.
Um. Uh. No, in the shower he can't see you, but he knows you are showering.
He says he can't see you.
Yeah, he
I've
says you
I've
can't.
always felt that he's just trying to reassure me and that he's always watching.
There is a major scene later on with Dead Man that confirms that he can't see you.
Okay.
Um.
Of course, this is going to be a key plot point.
Oh, it is a key plot point. Like, it is vital information. It's one of my it's one of my biggest problems with Death Stranding is that the overall story and the the bits where it goes really off the rails and stuff like that.
I mean, we are discussing the melancholic beauty of a game featuring a main character called Die Hard Man.
Yeah, but it's stuff like I don't like. I think a lot of the ham-fisted main storyline to do with saving. I can't remember her name
Rebuilding
now.
the United Cities of America.
That stuff's fine. It's the I can't remember what her name is.
President Mum.
President Mum, but the lady who's trapped.
Yes, she's trapped on the beach.
I can't remember her name. Shit.
No, I can't. I can't remember it. All I can remember is Die Hard Man and Norman Reedus.
Dead Man.
Dead Man is Guillermo del Toro, but not Guillermo del Toro. That's
it's
right,
the
isn't it?
It's the model of Guillermo del Toro
with someone else's voice.
With someone else's voice that is vaguely Spanish.
Oh, he doesn't even voice himself?
No, he just looks like himself.
He wasn't he was available to be scanned, but he wasn't available to because also he's not an actor, so he was just like, we'll get someone else to voice me. But
I've not met Mads Mikkelsen yet either. I've seen him in a couple of cutscenes.
You will love so the Mads Mikkelsen stuff is my favorite bits of those games, like of the supernatural sort of stuff.
So he's popped up occasionally and called himself Daddy.
Yeah, and he's looking for his BB.
He's the daddy looking for his BB.
Mads Mikkelsen is the only celebrity in that game that is there. You can tell that he's putting in all the effort, whereas Norman Reedus, there are large chunks of that game where he's just not there, because obviously, like, hey, this game's 40 fucking hours long. He can't be in every cutscene, so you can tell when Norman Reedus is there and when he's not. And it was obviously a stand-in doing the mocap.
He is just a face.
Like, yeah, like my biggest problem, like, with that game is that it doesn't focus on what it does well, which is the interpersonal, like, and the infighting within the groups out there. You know, like, so you'll get into it. Like, Dead Man has his reasons to be suspicious of Die Hard Man and stuff like that. And then obviously it fucks it all up by.
Sounds like the most ridiculous thing.
Look, the ending
Dead Man
is
and Die Hard Man, or they just don't get on.
It is so hard to talk about.
The entire ending sequence is 3 hours long of, like, several major exposition dumps where you don't have any way to. It's not even like a cutscene.
So pretty much
it is within the game
has been an exposition dump.
So, but now imagine that.
To explain.
There's so much to explain about this world that I don't think we'll ever see again.
Yeah.
I couldn't comment on whether they've set themselves up for.
They've set themselves up. They've definitely set themselves up. There is definitely room for a Death Stranding 2. However, I don't think Death Stranding 1 ever did well enough to warrant anybody giving Kojima the money for a Death Stranding 2.
I said last time, I still don't feel like I can take the plunge on it, because it just seems way too out there, and I'm like, I don't know if it's the sort of thing I'd enjoy, because there's literally nothing else like it.
I honestly think it would suck you in. I kind of felt the same, and I took the plunge based on just, you know what, I feel like walking. This place looks pretty, and I'm gonna do some walking while I wait for the PS5. And I don't know.
If you wanted to take the plunge on it, there is a way to play this game that isn't.
Isn't it included in the PS5 Plus?
It's not.
Oh,
I thought it was, and originally hung on, and then realized it wasn't, so bought it on the sale.
No, Sony only funded part of it. 505 actually own the publishing rights to it, so that's probably why. Because they're a bit weird with their Control and Death. I don't think Control and Death Stranding did well enough.
No, Jacob, I think I would recommend taking the plunge, because it's so out there, but in a way that you do just keep wanting to see more. You just kind of need to know where this shit is gonna go.
Yeah.
I think you would enjoy Ooblets more.
You get out of here.
The thing with Death Stranding that I would say, if you're willing to take the plunge, is that it is not as weird as we're describing. It is a
There
lot of
are
it is a lot of Kojima, you know, bits and pieces that he puts in his games that make them sound weird.
yeah. So
But
looking at this from the outside and just seeing like why is he pregnant? Why is the baby strapped to his chest? What are these floaty things? They do actually all make sense,
yeah,
strangely, in the
but if
context of the world. And once you kind of figure out what this world is,
I think
and
the thing that puts a lot of people off is that people don't actually describe what the game actually is,
yeah,
which is a bunch of delivery missions with story to tie them together.
it
And
is
a
just
majority of the
the whole game is just world building.
it's
It
an
is a
adventure
walk.
game.
Yeah, it's a walk across this bizarre dystopian world that has had a lot go into it.
In
There's a
it,
lot of strange thought behind this world that they've created.
there is a large portion of this game that could be very easily similar to Kojima's like if you were to demake this game in some capacity, there are large portions of this game that could very easily translate to a Kojima point and click game like Police Noughts and stuff that he's done in the past. Like, a large sections of that story are very easily just like, hey, these could be really nice, like cutscenes and stuff, which they are. A majority of them are very nice cutscenes, but a lot of them are people talking and
Yeah.
not a lot happening. Like people standing around explaining to you things, um, and then you going and doing a thing, which is like the game if you boil it down to a very burnt syrup, the game is a adventure game in which you walk through very empty areas and occasionally have a conversation, and then story happens.
And so I picked it up as part of it was in the Halloween sale.
Yeah,
And it's not a horror game. Um
but it does
but
its horror
it's
very well.
yes, the I find the BTs to be genuinely quite unnerving, and that's partially due to the fact that you can't see them.
Yeah,
Um
so they start, the more that they explain them and the more that they because over the course of 40 hours, Kojima like hits every like major horror like stereotype
so
of like the horror genre, which is like, hey, we've got a really good idea, we executed it really well, and then we explained it. Oh no, we explained it too much, and now they're not scary anymore.
so
So by
far
the
for
end of that
me, the whole
by the
thing
end of
is
that game, you hit that moment of like, ah, shit, like really?
I've been getting kind of Ridley Scott vibes from the whole thing, if I'm honest.
Yes.
It's
So if I'm sure if you go through Kojima's like Netflix playlists and Netflix what he's watched recently or what's in his Blu-ray collection, I bet Prometheus is in there.
I was just gonna say this whole world reminds me so much of just those early landing scenes in Prometheus, and it's yes, you're in America, but it's like it's a new world. You're
Yeah,
exploring
because
basically uncharted territory.
yeah, there's
And then it's just as well when you've got I don't know what it's called, but the little sensor on your shoulder. It just reminds me so much of the motion sensors in Alien,
absolutely
where you
the
and it has the same effect as even like the actual use of the motion sensor in Alien Isolation was one of my favorite things about it, where you just had that slow beeping that obviously it speeds up as they get closer, and it's exactly the same with the BTs. Obviously you're just walking through an empty space with them though, and you can't see a thing, and you're just having to just slowly walk and change direction as the speed ramps up, and it's tense as fuck.
yeah, it and like holding your breath and hoping that the baby doesn't cry too loudly so that you know you don't
Just
get
having to
caught.
stop in the middle of a
something
ghost
that can
thing chasing you to rock a baby back to sleep.
yeah, it is. And the game, it's like Prometheus, where the further it goes in, the less you know the less the horror has its effect of, like, the unknown is what makes that game scary. And there is a very pivotal moment in that game where suddenly the horror flips on its head and it becomes the monster mash, um of, like,
And it
big.
becomes Alien Covenant.
Well, yeah, he, like, big monster, and we know what it is, and oh, now there's two of them because the game's got to be a game at some point. Um, you'll see, there is a. I would be curious. I'm going to be curious how that game runs on PC. I'm pretty sure, because I played that on a PS4 original, and during, like, some of the major boss fights, like, the frame rate was dipping, like, I was jumping and seeing Sam jump
I'm on a
in, like,
pro,
5
so
frames a second.
I'll have to report back. But I
Yeah,
will
get
push on with this
I
because I want
uh,
to
I
get
want
that
I
red
want
string out and piece together that story with you, Joel.
yes. Also because it's now convincing me that I need to go back and play this thing. I need to. It's because it's like 70 gigs on my PC and it's not been deleted since I got hold of it, but I've not touched it. I traded it for a copy of SpongeBob HD remastered.
Or the HD remakes, or them.
Yeah. My friend got it free with with their PC, so they didn't want it, and so I traded it for SpongeBob.
Wow, I think that's trading up. I'd say
That's trading up.
a good
The
deal.
game was still $59.99. I got the SpongeBob thing for like 20 quid. I was willing
Bargain.
to just hand over cash, but they wanted SpongeBob. Um, Ollie,
Sometimes it's all people want.
Yeah,
exactly. Ollie,
yeah.
other than Norman Reedus and his fancy fetus, um, what else have you been playing?
So I'll get on to I'll briefly touch Darkest Dungeon. I picked up Darkest Dungeon as well, a game that I've not played in about 3 years. I bought it for the Switch again in the Halloween sale because I thought I remember really enjoying this.
Hmm.
And it still doesn't feel like a game that is meant to be played on a controller, I'll be honest.
No.
I played it on a PS4 before and had those exact same thoughts. I think this is the third time I bought it. Because
I own the Switch version, and it actually makes use of the touchscreen, I believe.
Oh, cool.
Okay, that hadn't clicked for me yet, so that might make things a lot easier. But yeah, I've not put a lot of time into it. I've quickly been reminded how stressful that game is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will report back on that maybe next week when I've actually jumped back into Darkest Dungeon.
I usually do the same thing with that game in that I pick it up maybe every like year and a half or so, and I'm like, oh, I remember really liking this, and then playing it for like an hour or two, and then being like, I don't feel like I'm ever going to beat this game at this rate.
I remember why I stopped playing.
Yeah.
I usually beat like the first couple major areas in that game and then suddenly go,
Yeah,
oh
you know
shit,
what? That's
everyone's
enough for me.
dead, and I just cannot be asked building this team back up again.
I named these characters and everything, and now they're all dead.
Yeah, so I've not been naming anyone so far
Because
because
they're gonna die.
yeah, I used
guess.
to spend I used to spend a lot of time like piecing together this team that I got really attached to, and now I just know
Big
that
mistake.
I use the randomly generated names and I just watch them
Hmm.
die, and I'm like, yeah,
I make
you're
the same
just
mistake in
baked.
XCOM as well, to be fair.
Now, XCOM, I feel like there's probably not more progression,
More chance
because
of
there
keeping
is plenty
people
of
alive.
progression in Darkest Dungeon, but yeah, more chance with them surviving. I think that's one of the most fun parts of XCOM is actually building this unique team. Whereas Darkest Dungeon, it's more watching them suffer. I think one of the most interesting things is the kind of stress levels and just seeing.
You are just raising them for slaughter.
Yeah, they're just
I'm awful at that game as well.
little minions.
Even you talking about it now has made me be like, oh, maybe I should play it. I don't know.
It's just so stressful. Because it's a very almost romantic kind of game, like with the way it's all set, and you're just like, oh yeah, and there's so much to do, and then I'm like, no, I can't do any of this. I can't get very far at all because you do like one dungeon, you barely scrape out, but you're like, fuck yeah, I did it, and then you do another one, and you're like, nope, everyone's dead.
And you drop
Everyone's
them in
screwed.
church to do some prayer and
Yeah,
recover.
or self-flagellation. Take them to the brothel, that sort of thing. Yeah, it is very much a case where it's just like it becomes a juggling act if you trying to put out all these different fires, and it
Yeah,
just
but my
never
idea
really goes
behind
away.
buying the Switch version was I can just keep picking it up. Like hour to kill, I'll pick up my Switch and I'll do a couple of dungeons, and so far it's not swayed me any more than any other version of the game that I've played. But yeah, I'll report back on that when I'm not playing this hot new game that that
The
has
Witcher 3.
sadly not. I have picked up Skyrim again.
Oh yeah.
Um,
I forgot where this was going.
yeah. So this was originally your fault, Jacob.
Me?
It was you briefly mentioning the Switch version.
Oh, of course, yeah. And how I didn't like it.
And how you didn't like it, yeah. And then I remembered we have the Switch version. Well, Lauren has the Switch version. Maybe I'll check it out and see how it runs. And I didn't like it either.
No.
But it started to scratch that itch. Now, I just want to kind of preface this by saying I'm not one of the people, and I know there's a lot of them out there that has played Skyrim nonstop ever since the release.
Yeah.
I've not gone back to it and modded it.
Those people baffle me beyond fucking belief.
So I've not played Skyrim since I last played it on Xbox 360. I got the PC version when I sold my 360 and bought my gaming PC, and always told myself, yeah, I'll get another save going, I can play around with mods and stuff, and I just never did because I pretty much exhausted that game on 360.
Yeah.
It's now been probably 6 years since I last played that, and I thought everything's shit. The world's a fucking mess. Let's play Skyrim and pretend it's 2011 and everything's okay, or I'm less aware of how bad the world is. And I can see I'm not wearing the rose-tinted glasses. I can see everything that's wrong with this game, or everything that doesn't hold up with this game. But I've come to the realization that I'm always going to enjoy it. It's the way I feel about Skyrim is that everything is just consistent in that it's consistently mediocre.
It's all okay.
Every part of Skyrim is going to be the same as the last, and this extends to basically the whole Elder Scrolls series. There is not going to be a single bit of variety in the combat, in the exploration, other than what different kind of pretty vistas I get to look at. But this was just a world that I got so engrossed in my teens. I got so deep into the Elder Scrolls lore, and that shit goes. Like there's aliens in there. There's fucking space deities. It's you try and read up on the Elder Scrolls like creation story.
I never bothered looking into the lore side of things on Elder Scrolls.
I actually find it really interesting. It's fucking bonkers. And that's just kind of all flooding back to me. I've made a dark elf character. I'm playing like a stealthy mage, which I never really did in the last games. And I basically catered my character to make sure I have to do as little just general melee combat as possible, because that is the bit
sucks.
that it just it was never any good. I can just play this, like, I can just launch fireballs from a distance, and it's as long as it hits them.
You move the reticle and you point and you
yeah,
shoot.
you point and you shoot, and you're done. You're done with the combat, and then I can go back to just walking and discovering, and that's what's always just appealed to me with the Elder Scrolls games, is that there's just no restraint. I'm not going to be bogged down by cutscenes. I can just drop me in and just let me do my thing. My thing might not be that interesting, but it's consistent. It is, yeah, it's comfortable. I will continue to walk, look at stuff, enjoy the nice peaceful music, kill some bandits very, very slowly and methodically so I don't have to actually fight them, and just keep going. I don't care about playing the story again. I will get through the main quest just to level up my character. I don't know. I just said a couple of minutes ago that I'm not looking at this through rose-tinted glasses, and I'm now realizing this is purely just a nostalgia boner. But no, I also never played the 2 DLCs, so I'm kind of intrigued, because it's actually new Skyrim
New content
to me.
10 years later.
And I know one of them, you go to Solstheim, which is the island off the edge of Morrowind. And I know they brought back some of the old Morrowind score, which
cool.
I stand by as the best music in the series. The Skyrim music is a bit much for me, with all the heavy Viking chanting and stuff. I really like. I've always liked the Elder Scrolls scores. I just really like the peaceful stuff, that ambient noise. I could play that in the background while I study. It's just
genuinely. I used to when I used to bunk off classes at sixth form, like the rebel that I was. I used to just sit in the library reading Game of Thrones, and when I was reading it, I used to have it's like a 50-minute audio file that's just called Skyrim Atmospheres.
Yeah.
I used to just listen to that while I was reading Game of Thrones instead of being in class.
Yeah, but yeah, the Morrowind. I played Morrowind as well when I was a child and didn't really understand it, and getting to hear all that again, I think that's going to be nice. So I'm going to push on through Skyrim. I'm not going to enjoy myself that much, because I think I've got everything that I can out of that game.
I think you're underselling it, because I went through the same thing a few years ago. I ended up playing it on my PC. I didn't finish it. I didn't even get massively far through, but it was just, it was a nice thing to go back to. And when you do play it a bit differently as well, like I did a magic based character instead of, I think I was just a sword and shield kind of guy when I played through it first time round, when I did like 200 hours on the 360 or something. And then doing it as a magic one was different enough for it to be nice. And as you say, it's just like it's like slipping on an old pair of slippers or something.
Yeah, I think my favorite thing in those games was always just arriving in a far off city for the first time and just seeing a new group of ugly character models to listen to their quirky one-liners. It's just comforting. And I think that's something the world needs right now.
Yeah.
You hear that, Joel? The world needs Skyrim.
Lovely.
The world needs...
Thank you, Todd Howard, for making Skyrim so readily available everywhere.
I can't wait for one day the conversation to be, can it run Doom? To be, can it run Skyrim?
I'm pretty sure I got a free copy of Skyrim with my KFC this afternoon.
It's I can't remember where I heard it, but the joke of like, if you can hear me, you probably own Skyrim at least 3 times.
That'd be,
true.
yeah. I think
is that
right,
it,
to be
Ollie?
Honest. I think that's it. Yeah. As I said, like I got very deep once upon a time into the Elder Scrolls lore, and once I realized that Elder Scrolls 6 isn't arriving in my lifetime, I thought maybe I'll just give it another go, and I'm not regretting it.
I can't believe they I still can't fucking believe they announced that shit.
It's hilarious looking back, isn't it?
I really do wonder how much has actually happened in terms of development. Like, has
Fuck all. Like-
anything actually been made?
No, like that teaser trailer and generic, like, oh shit, we'll just make some grass in the engine that we're using for Starfield. Like, that entire Bethesda studio is definitely all hands on deck for Starfield at the minute.
It's
Yeah.
just I wonder if they even know like where that game's going to be set. Like,
No,
everyone
but,
launched into
like,
speculation of like, oh, is this? I think the consensus was probably Hammerfell based on the mountains, and it's like, no, those
no,
mountains
it's-
could be anywhere. There was
it could-
people breaking down the Tamriel map and say like the shape of this mountain
Must be
replicates
this.
the Breton homeland or whatever. And like, no, they don't. I don't think they
it's-
fucking know.
It's the same. These are the same fucking nerds that write on Wikipedia of like Darth Vader's fucking spacesuit and all the buttons that it does, and like generated BBY and stuff like before Yavin 4.
Of course.
Yeah, no, I would be very
Like-
intrigued to know if they actually even know what that game is going to be called. Not
No,
just
they know it's Elder Scrolls 6, but the only reason they fucking put it on the screen for everyone to see was because, oh shit, Fallout 76 is on fucking fire. Jesus. We need to get the fans back. We need to get the fans back. And guess what happened? All the fucking nerds suddenly went, oh, okay then. Oh,
Thanks,
all
Bethesda.
right. Thanks, Bethesda.
I
Nerd
was-
culture
I-
was a mistake.
yeah, but you know what, Joel? I was reading those Reddit threads of people
Yeah, of course you
speculating
fucking
the
were.
shape of the map because I saw that and I
was-
thought, wow, they're making this game.
The last time I was doing that was was during the lead up to Metal Gear Solid 5. I was in the 4chan thread when they discovered that the Phantom Pain was Metal Gear Solid 5.
Oh man, that was a big deal. I remember that.
When they figured out that the font, if you take all the pieces of the font of the Phantom Pain and then put red lines and stuff and match it together, it spells Metal Gear Solid.
That was cool.
Yeah,
I remember that. Yeah.
That was good. But like goodbye sausage, which was Kojima's tweet, which led people. Have you never heard of the goodbye sausage theory?
No. There's always
So-
something that you come out with. Like, I was listening to last week's podcast and it was that weird JoJo's thing that you mentioned, the translation.
Oh, the do-wang.
Do-wang. You just come out with this really weird shit. It's like, oh, don't tell me you've heard of the goodbye sausage. And I'm like, what?
So in the development cycle for Metal Gear Solid 5, obviously, like, people started taking to Kojima's Twitter to look for clues, and he was probably leaving. I think it must have been like Gamescom or something along those lines,
Right.
Because it looks German anyway. So there was this sausage on a plate, and he just tweeted "Goodbye sausage."
Yep.
So, in Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, there is a character called Chico,
Okay.
and people thought that Chico, because the face of Chico matched up with Quiet, that
Okay, yeah.
Quiet was Chico, hence Goodbye Sausage.
Sorry,
What?
Joel. I'm gonna have to correct
because
you. It was
Chico had
it was farewell sausage.
farewell sausage.
I've just found the tweet.
But he tweeted a picture of the sausage.
Yeah.
So
There's
how-
a-
So people took this to mean that Quiet was a transgender assassin that used to be Chico.
How did we get from sausage to Chico, though?
Yeah,
Because people were lining up like who is Quiet in, like, the 4chan is one to do of like big
Yeah.
spread out like with red circles and stuff, and they
Uh-huh.
were like overlapping Chico's face with Quiet. And
How do
going
we
like,
get this from
right,
sausage?
So this must
just
mean that
retweeted the sausage.
that Chico is transgender because
Oh, I see.
because they've had the sex
What the
change.
fuck?
Removal of genitalia.
what?
removal
There,
of genitalia.
thereby, farewell sausage.
Farewell sausage.
That
That
is-
is that.
That's
the biggest
actually
fucking
insane.
stretch. That is the biggest fucking
So
stretch.
that was the biggest fucking stretch, but people fucking nailed the plot almost fucking immediately over the big twist of like there are two big bosses and stuff.
Over a sausage?
No, well, no, not from the sausage, but from the original, from one of the original trailers with the song by Garbage in it. They basically pieced together like, okay, these are two snakes and this and that and the other, and that's where they discovered that the doctor in the helicopter of Metal Gear Solid's Ground Zeroes had actually been a pitched down version of Kiefer Sutherland, and so that must be the Venom snake, because and then people were like, this is
a sausage.
No, ignore the sausage now. But like,
farewell sausage.
We're done with the
sausage. Farewell sausage. But in the same thread that the sausage stuff was coming up, people basically cracked the plot of Metal Gear Solid 5 a year in advance of Metal Gear Solid 5 actually happening. So when it launched, and everyone went, "Oh shit!" People who were stretching way too far were actually right on point. It's just a shame that, Chico is never mentioned ever again.
Therefore, the sausage could have been right.
The sausage could have been right, but it wasn't.
Wow.
But you will feel sorry for your words and deeds. That's another tweet of his regarding Quiet's design.
Oh God.
Okay.
So farewell to farewell sausage, Jacob.
You are. Yes.
Tell me the video games you have been playing.
Yeah. All right. So, I mean, normally I would come to you with a Battlegrounds update.
What?
Sadly, such is not the case right now. Not because I didn't try and rush to play it this morning, but basically, from where we're up to WrestleMania now, which is obviously the big end point of the story. Last week, I teased you. I let you know that the first match for WrestleMania was legendary competitor versus complete newbie Billy Huggins versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania.
I've been eagerly awaiting this match with Billy Huggins.
So I played the match. I fought The Undertaker as Billy Huggins. Lost once. It was quite difficult. And then beat him the second time because I cheesed him out. I won by count out after hitting him with a guitar a few times. And there was no story after it. I just beat him and then moved on to the next match, which was New York cyclist Bolo Reynolds and like Detroit hacker man Gabriel Pierce against DX. I did that match and there was no story either. So I'm like, well, there's still like 5 matches left. Am I going to get no fucking story for this chapter? And it seems that way. So I will play through the rest, and I'm sure there will be story at the very end. But there's not really much of a story up there. I'm just fighting people at WrestleMania right now.
I mean, it seems very WWE to have all this build for just a match.
No payoff. Exactly. Yeah.
So it's actually the best WWE
Billy
game.
Huggins beat The Undertaker.
Billy Huggins beat The Undertaker. So Undertaker's technically lost 3 times at WrestleMania now.
Wow.
So
once to Brock Lesnar, once to Roman Reigns, and once to Billy Huggins. The Holy Trinity.
Wow.
Oh shit! So
I was a little bit disappointed.
Other than a lack of Battlegrounds update, is there anything new?
Yeah. Well, this will be the last time I talk about Crash 4 because I managed to finish it finally. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Final thoughts. It's easily the hardest Crash game I've ever played. I would say that. Especially near the end when you've got all of because once you have all the 4 powers, it starts to integrate multiple ones into the same levels. And there's like kind of on-rail segments where you're flipping between these powers so quickly. And it's really, really well-designed platforming stuff. It's just very hard is the only thing. I kind of had to assess things and be like, if I do want to finish this anytime soon so I can move on to other games, I'm just going to have to say no to the collectibles and the extras. So it very much kind of on the last world, it just became I'm powering through, I'm getting to the final boss and I'm beating it. And I will just watch the true ending on YouTube because as is tradition with Crash, you don't really get the real ending if you don't collect everything. So I got yeah, I know. I got kind of the okay ending where it's like, oh, you beat Cortex. Cortex does end up being the final boss, even though he becomes your ally partway through the game. At the end, he turns into a shit again. and you have to beat Cortex again. So yeah, I got the kind of okay ending where I was like, yeah, we beat him and whatever. But it turns out if you get the kind of collectathon ending, you get to hear basically what happened to all of the characters in the years, presumably after the game finishes. There's some really weird stuff in there, like Engine he becomes a jazz musician. Coco becomes an esports star.
Of course.
So I've watched this true
Yeah.
ending because I was like, I have to see what happens, and I
Opposite
think my
Nina?
favorite is what happens to Dingo Dial.
Oh, I love Dingo Doll. He's my favorite. But yeah, he starts up his diner chain, and which immediately gets closed down again, because he got like a D on his health rating, which stands D for delicious, is what he called it. And the weirdest one that got me, it was like the moment in the newest Pokemon movie when Pikachu talked. Crash talks normally right at the very end, and it's really weird. It's played off for a joke, whereas it definitely wasn't in the Pokemon movie. But it turns out that when they're doing this kind of like retrospective, being like, oh, Coco became an esports star and Engine's a jazz musician, and then it goes to Crash at the end, and he's like, it's him in the voice recording booth, and he's like, and I'm doing just fine. It's like, what the fuck? Crash has like actually got a really smooth voice sort of thing. Whereas yeah, in that Pokemon movie, that was horrifying. Did you guys see that?
No.
Which one is this?
Remake of
Pokemon I Choose You.
Oh, we did watch that.
Yeah, that was the soft reboot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit.
And just at the very end, where it was like Pikachu was just like, I just always wanted to be with you as it's dying, and there was just a collective in the cinema as we were there.
I have I watched this?
We have watched this.
Are you
together.
sure?
Yes.
I have absolutely no memory of this.
Well, that's how shit it was. And that's
was
why we
pretty
went
shit.
back to watching Indigo League.
No, I think you must have watched this with Joss or something.
No, he had already watched it.
No, I have not seen this.
Also had my favorite Pokemon sound effect in there, which was when they like look up at a tree and they're like, oh my god, it's a Weedle, and it just goes, eh. I'm like, that's not a Weedle noise. Look it up.
Wait, was this the CGI one?
Yeah.
No. It was normally animated.
Yeah, we watched that CGI garbage.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought we were talking about that.
We've not
Okay.
seen this. You might have seen this.
No, I haven't. I've watched the clip of Pikachu talking. I just assumed that they were both two parts of the same shit movie.
What the fuck is this?
It's called Pokemon I Choose You, I'm pretty sure. I think it was released for some kind of anniversary or something. And it like semi-retells the first series / game.
Garbage.
And he dies?
So it's like an emotional moment at the end where Pikachu gets beaten up and you think he's obviously like, oh no, he's going to die, and then they pull through. But it's just this emotional moment, yeah, where Pikachu's just like, I always just wanted to be with you, Ash.
Oh.
It's an elongated version of the first episode or something.
Oh yeah, when the
Okay.
Spearows get him.
Kinda, yeah. It's like a weird retelling / redo.
Well, I've definitely not seen this.
No, we haven't. Okay, I take it back.
and
I want to see if I can find that Weedle clip.
I was
going to
say, will you please do the Weedle again?
What, you want me to recount the noise?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like, oh my god, look, there's a Weedle. Ah.
I'm gonna have to fucking watch this movie for 5 seconds.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Somehow we got onto that from Crash Bandicoot with this weird voice acting at the end.
It was worth it for the Weedle.
But yeah, overall I'd really recommend it. It will keep you going for a long time if you are looking for a challenging platformer that has a lot of collectibles and stuff. And like I said in the group chat, I'm very happy that Crash is back, even if it does mean that it's given me many grey hairs in the process. So that's but mainly that's kind of to preface what I've been playing since, because as I say, I didn't really feel like I could move on from Crash 4 and play something else until I'd finished that. specifically because what I was going on to play was also a platformer. So now that I finished Crash 4, I've actually started Mario Galaxy finally.
Hey.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's the first time I've ever really played it properly.
How do you feel about how are you playing the Switch port?
So I've tried it both ways. So I started in my first session and played it on the TV. When I always watched Hannah play it, she had the controllers in the controller grip and still kind of used to point at the TV using that. I found that a bit weird. I like to have them separate and just kind of point with the one Joy-Con.
Yeah.
And I've also tried it in the handheld since last night as well. In a weird way, I think I actually kind of prefer it handheld because I like being able to touch the screen to pick up the star bits and stuff.
So I have the same reaction to you, which was like I like to if I'm playing it on TV, I have them separated.
Yeah.
But I actually kind of like it handheld. The only problem is I have little diddy hands. So the problem I have with like picking up the star bits and stuff is like I have little tiny hands and I can't really do both at the same time.
Yeah, I still definitely can't move and swipe to pick up star bits at the same time, or if I can, it's with great difficulty, and I'll usually run into something that I'm not supposed to. But yeah, I mean, generally speaking, it took a bit of getting used to with the spherical kind of levels. The levels that are like tiny planets, control wise, sometimes I don't know if my brain's just not wired in such a way to where I can kind of just figure it out and it's like second nature. But when you're like upside down on a planet and trying to run a certain way, I'll push the stick one way and I'm like, wait, no, that's not the way I wanted to go. And it's a bit weird. It's a bit kind of hard to get used to, but I'm getting there. I don't know if I'm going to draw heat from this, but I don't know if the levels feel a little bit disjointed to me.
Yeah, it has the
I don't know if it's just because I just came from Mario Sunshine, where I'm like everything at least shares something of a similar aesthetic, in that it's all supposed to be within this one area, but they're all still kind of varied. Whereas, yeah, you'll go to fly off to one galaxy, and it's like, oh yeah, this is like a meadow or something, and then you've got the junk galaxy, like which is the next one.
So I think it plays nicely into like the galaxy sort of aspect of it, but I see where you're coming from, where you like you want this cohesive, like,
because I didn't even feel it that much when I played Mario 64, which has obviously got really different levels. I don't know.
That has
you've got Peach's Castle, which kind of connects them, but even then, that's not really much of a connector. I don't know why it bothered me more in Galaxy, but it did.
I see where you're coming from with that, and thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, no, I can totally see.
Control wise, there's a little bit more to get used to as well. Obviously, the long jump's back, which wasn't in Mario Sunshine.
I prefer javelin.
You say what?
I said I prefer javelin.
Javelin?
You said the long jump's back.
Oh, I see.
It was a really bad joke. I'm sorry.
I didn't even get it. You had to explain it.
Oh,
flop.
Edit me out, Joel. Edit me out.
Stayed in.
Because I was a big proponent. The microphone because I opened the chat and I saw the paint drinker again. And I couldn't hold it together through Jason's.
I tried to power through it.
So.
Yeah. Because I was a big proponent of the side jump in Sunshine and also 64 as well. That's a little bit stiffer in Mario Galaxy, I find. It's a little bit harder to pull off, which makes sense because it was like the main way of traversing in Sunshine. So,
and now the risk of falling off something isn't
not quite as bad.
It's not quite as bad, mostly because everything's round.
Yeah. Those are my only real gripes with the game. Otherwise, it's been a real good time so far. Everything looks great. My favorite part by a country mile is the soundtrack. The music in that game is phenomenal. And yeah, I'm gonna go through it and kind of do all of the main stars, as it were. I don't think I'm going to be bothered doing any kind of coin challenges or even the comet ones. Really, I can't be asked. I just want to play through kind of the main bulk of the game, and but no, it's been very nice, and finally getting to it after all this time as well.
Sounds good. Anything else?
Trying to think. I don't think so. I've still not gone back to No More Heroes
Yeah, I was about to
or
say.
Carrion or anything like that. I bought Party Golf while it was on sale on the Switch, but I've not played that either. Yeah, I think that's about it.
Yeah. So I haven't played anything new since last week because I have been in a weird edit hole of putting together a No More Heroes Let's Play sort of deal, and realized when I started watching back all the footage that I had not put the subtitles on.
Mm,
So I
Oh,
have been
boy.
having to subtitle that entire video game
manually.
manually. Well, so luckily there are bigger nerds out there than me.
No.
Most people. Yes, someone has written the whole script out and put it on GameFAQs, so I've just been
Wow.
using that, and it's pretty accurate.
The
So
diligence of some people, it
I
amazes
know
me.
it's incredible.
What was the nerdiest thing that you've ever done then with a game? Because for me, I remember with Animal Crossing on DS, I made and printed out an entire list of all the Animal Crossing characters and what they liked and dislikes.
Oh yeah, for reference purposes.
Yeah, so
the nerdiest thing I've ever done with a game. Oh.
I have an answer. For some reason, it's the one thing that came to mind. I'm sure there's probably worse things I've done, but I remember in the lead up to one of the wrestling games coming out, SmackDown versus Raw 2000 and X, whatever it would be, they released the overall ratings for the characters, obviously before they came out, like a month or two beforehand. And I had a sticky note on my PC where I just copied them all in just so I could look at them whenever I wanted to. Just before the game came out, I could just be like, "Oh, Seamus is an 88, nice." I don't know why. I was just like, I need this for reference, and just kind of looked at them every now and then and was like, "Yeah, that's cool." I don't know why. I've literally not thought about that in years, but
that's so strangely pure.
I know. I don't get it. Yeah, so I guess I could compare them and be like, I can't believe they've rated Kofi Kingston higher than Evan Bourne or something like that. Yeah.
So
I think getting. Oh no, go ahead,
I
Ollie.
was just gonna say I was one of those people that made their own Guitar Hero songs on Frets on Fire.
Ah,
Oh
Okay.
God.
And let me tell you, that is time consuming because you've got to listen to segments of each song just over and over, and you gotta plan out your note chart. I remember tabbing out an entire All That Remains album,
whoa.
Oh wow, the whole album.
a whole album, just to build that on Frets on Fire. And I don't know, they might still be up there to download somewhere.
I'm sure everyone's very eager to do that.
I'm sure they are, but
I have also just remembered that there somewhere on YouTube out there, there'll be a Windows Movie Maker made top 10 list by myself of video game music. I'm pretty sure that's still out there somewhere.
Oh, you can probably still find some of my old shit as well. That's definitely still exists.
Or did
in
I delete
different
it? I might have
places.
deleted it.
An old YouTube channel I had called Game Related Bollocks.
Sounds
'cause
about
I
right.
was 15.
And balls
it
are
had
funny.
17. It had 17 subscribers.
Oh, yeah, not bad.
Yeah, steady.
Big deal.
Most popular video: Spider-Man Mysterio's Menace with 17,000 views.
Wow.
Why? Why the fuck? I don't know. Uploaded 11 years ago.
Nice.
Boy.
I had a lot of videos of me falling off a skateboard
Oof.
because as a preteen learning to skate, I wanted to be the guy that was in all the skateboarding videos, but wasn't very good.
Oh, yeah.
And realized that there was a lot of views on bail compilations, so that became me just recording myself falling over.
Gonna get YouTube famous, yeah.
Oof.
I wanna say the nerdiest thing is me playing Eve online for a month. And ending up in a corporation and downloading Vent and different because this was before Discord had taken
Oh,
off.
like
So
Ventrilo, yeah.
Ventrilo and joining a crew
Wow.
and then thinking I was bigger than them with it towards the end of my subscription of like, I'm never going to play this game again because I'm now home from university and I now have no reason to play it. So I turned my back on them and tried to destroy their base.
Stage of mutiny.
Stage a one-man mutiny, to which I got multiple messages via email because they had my email of like, why the fuck did you do this? And it's like, well, you were all asleep, so
Sounds pretty cult-like.
it is a intense thing to get into, and I never want to do it again because my social anxiety flared up horrifically during the entire time.
No more heroes.
No more heroes. I am in the last throes of recording that game. So I've got one last fight to do before I am number one.
Whoa.
Well, technically two, because there is a secret boss fight if you collect everything. So links in with your Crash Bandicoot stuff, where if you
Hey.
actually want to see the real ending, it's not that difficult to do. You have to buy all 3 beam katana upgrades throughout the game.
Interesting.
Oh boy, the grind in that game is so bad. It's so bad. There is 45 minutes of footage of me doing the same fights over and over again, just because it's the best and easiest way to make money to get the upgrades for the beam katana.
Bean katana.
Bean katanas. It's just a katana with flowing baked beans.
I can't
going
tell
up
if
and
you're
down
shitting
like
me or not.
No, it's Beema. Beema.
Oh,
Be more.
I thought that was some
Beema.
really like good coincidence.
That would have been good, wouldn't it?
No,
Yeah.
it would have been good.
Katana.
But no, so I've got the last katana, but now I want to upgrade it because it runs out of energy really quickly. And also it needs to be powered up so that I can kill all these enemies in one go, so I'd never have to charge or deal with the jobbers ever again. But the second, well, depending on how you look at it, like the second ranked killer is maybe the most frustrating experience I've had with a boss fight in a while, and reminds me of like, oh yeah, old games were weird, in that like the AI couldn't decide what it was doing most of the time, and wouldn't walk over to me so that I could approach. So she wouldn't approach me, and I wasn't willing to approach her because she would kill me in one go. And so she would just go into. So she has this one-hit kill animation thing that you can very easily avoid. But the problem is that she kept running up to me to do this move, and then would immediately go into the one-hit kill animation, and I would just be like, "Oh well, shit. I guess I got to do this 10-minute boss fight all over again."
Yeesh.
So there's bits and pieces like that where it's just like, shit.
It's a
Like,
frustrating old game.
This game aged, but it has led me to dig out some other Grasshopper games that I own or buy. I bought Killer is Dead.
Oh yeah.
It was $2.99 on Steam.
Nice.
So I bought Killer is Dead. I have not installed it or touched it. But then I also found my copies of Lollipop Chainsaw.
Oh man.
And written by James Gunn.
Is it?
It is.
Oh, weird. I didn't even know that.
And Shadows of the Damned.
Shadows of the Damned. Yeah, I was going to mention that last week when you were talking about No More Heroes.
Yeah, so I watched a video online of Shadows of the Damned, of like, one of those here's the history of Shadows of the Damned sort of thing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a What Happened episode from Matt McMuscles about it.
So they think this is a different guy. It's not I've been watching some of the What Happened sort
He's
of stuff
great.
because
I love Matt McMuscles.
Because I was like, this guy's probably just going to shout about development and not have a clear understanding of how games actually work, and it turns out he actually does. So
yeah,
that's an actual positive. But no, this video was just like, yeah, Suda was, Suda and Shinji Mikami, who also did Resident Evil 4, is like the grandfather of Resident Evil, basically. Did the first one and the fourth one. and then did what's it called, Evil Within.
Yeah.
Um, the Suda's barely involved with it. He's just sort of like a name attached to it. The real director is some other dude.
I just googled Shadows of the Damned to try and figure out where I remembered the name of the game from, and found someone selling a used copy for £493
Worth it.
what console?
on PS3.
And is it like a limited edition?
I don't know.
Because Jesus Christ, I'll sell my copy of my Xbox 360 version.
Undercut and sell it for 300 instead.
Yeah, I'll
Meanwhile,
sell it.
someone is selling the Xbox 360 version for £23.
A little bit more like it.
Yeah. All the Grasshoppers games are a little bit janky in some spots, but I'm excited to do this little pilgrimage that I'm doing of like, I'm gonna do No More Heroes, and then I might do Killer is Dead just to see what that is, because I need to procure a Xbox product to play Shadows of the Damned and Lollipop Chainsaw, because I do not own one anymore.
Yeah, man. I'm pretty sure I bought Lollipop Chainsaw but never played it.
Yeah, I think it's one of those games where I bought it when I was at uni and just then realized like, shit.
I think this was in my post kind of Metal Gear Rising sort of phase.
I'm looking for the next perfection,
Yeah.
and it never came.
No, nothing tops it.
Nothing tops it. Other than that, more Grindstone.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Have you got any more Apple Arcade offerings? Because I
No,
don't.
I don't. I've only been playing Grindstone.
Fair.
That game is getting tougher and tougher as it goes. It's now stopped being about like getting as many kills as possible and like managing how many kills you do so that you can move blocks about, and it's throwing things on its head of like, hey, this spear throwing enemy is behind some rocks that you cannot get to, so you have 8 turns before he gets through the rock in front of him and the box in front of him, which each need like 5 and 3 hits before he hits this switch, and the entire level collapses beneath you and you have to start over.
I put that game in a folder on my phone and I completely forgot I even still had it. That's how it goes.
Yeah, that's how. There's 3 other Apple Arcade games in my in a folder like that.
Yeah.
But other than that, that's about it.
Oh.
What are you giggling about there?
Ollie's
I
being
can
a
hear you.
fucking idiot.
Twittering away.
It's
I'm
him.
trying to stretch my jumper.
He's just dancing.
I'm just trying to stretch this jumper. It's
Children
a
in
bit
a classroom.
Honestly,
Children in a classroom.
So, you know when you just look at someone and you know that you're trying to be quiet and it makes it worse?
It was every time I
Wow.
glanced at my phone and I just had the paint drinker.
He just kept looking at it. And then he would start crying to himself. And it's
Well,
just
should we talk
Should we
about
talk about the paint
crying
drinker?
to ourselves?
great tangent.
Great tangent. PC can't be downloaded on a PS5.
Okay.
So apparently someone from Polygon, Polygon and Games Radar tested it with their pre-launch units of the PS5, and apparently it was working.
Oh.
Transferred over and everything, and then a unknown publisher came in and said, "Stop that."
Please don't do that.
Stop that now.
And Konami have confirmed that PT has been patched on PS5s to not work.
Wow.
Would you look at that?
Would you look at that? So my PS4's value goes further up.
Yeah.
As that thing has found a permanent residence on the hard drive. I should actually back that hard drive up so that I can have that thing forever and ever.
That's how it was with the Sonic the Hedgehog 2006 demo on 360, because they removed that demo. And I was like, haha, no one has it but me.
Gotta keep this thing forever.
Oh, people are going to want this. It's actually better than the main game. They made it worse.
Because it ends. Oh, shit.
I think genuinely it's like an earlier version of the game where after they changed shit, it actually did make it worse. So it's actually a better version of Sonic 06, yeah.
I want to play Sonic 06 and I don't know why. It's mostly just because I hate myself.
I'm not like I think I've played it in the past. I would play it again.
It's shit.
My favorite
Well,
Sonic game is Sonic X Director's Cut.
Sonic.
Oh, DX, do you mean?
DX.
Yes,
I
that's
was
it.
like, that's the cartoon show.
The on GameCube, because I spent the whole time trying to do levels just to get the little animal bits for my are they called
The
chows?
Chows, yeah.
Yeah.
Sonic Adventure 2 is my favorite, and they had a lot of Chow Garden stuff in it.
I spent more hours in the Chow Garden than anybody should have done.
Does anybody remember? I believe it was called Flicky's Island.
Yeah, 3D Blast.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's
It's a very niche one.
It was a Sonic game.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
Flicky was a
I
little
had this-
bird.
Yeah.
I had it on PC.
Yes, I also had it on PC. I remember buying that game in one of those weird like burgundy cases.
Yes,
had
it was like the budget. It was like the budget like stuff that they couldn't sell anymore.
Yeah,
so they just
and I got it
sold them at £1
for like £2, and I saw, hey, that's
Mm.
Sonic. I'm gonna get this game. And
I got that, and and Sonic Racers.
yeah,
Sonic R?
I don't
Sonic
remember
R?
it being very good. I just suddenly remember.
Can you feel
No.
the sunshine?
Can you feel the sunshine? Can you play this very shitty running game?
Yeah, I think I got Mortal Kombat 4 under the same kind of premise of it, like, oh, this is this game came out a few years ago. It's now a budget title.
Yeah, Platypus was another one that I got in that same sort of. It's a side-scrolling shoot 'em up,
It's not what I expected.
made entirely out of clay. But speaking of so the PS5 has now hit. People are now reviewing and putting scores and saying like, "Hey, we own PS5s now." And shit has gone south from the looks of things. In like, hey, this console is very much going to be improved upon over the next year or so, I guess. Listening to some podcasts and stuff of like, there's weird little things in this game, in this console of like. This doesn't work and this doesn't work, and like the PS so like they got a letter from Sony when they got copies of Miles Morales of like, hey, make sure you don't download the PS4 version because we've put them under the same menu for some reason.
No.
And when you download both of them, the two tiles will then separate themselves. But unless you know which one's which, you won't know which one you're launching.
Interesting.
Apparently. But the main thing is the SSD, the storage space on the PS5. You'll only be able to use 650 gigs of it.
Yeah.
So
you can store 3 Call of Duty games.
If you so desired.
I don't think we'll be having any Call of Duty
for that
games,
issue.
so we'll be okay.
Yeah, I never really have more than one game on the go anyway, so I don't feel like I'm ever going to struggle with that.
Yeah, I think the thing that people are like, the problem with it is that so you can launch PS4 games off an external hard drive and stuff, and the Xbox Series X and S will let you put games in cold storage basically on an external hard drive, so that hey, and then it'll transfer the two, it'll transfer them between the two hard drives for you when you want to launch them and stuff like that. The PS5 doesn't support storing your PS5 games on a cold storage drive like that to transfer back and forth. So if you want to install more PS5 games, you have to sort of like delete them.
Yeah.
Which I know that's what the current world that we're used to, but having the option to like store stuff in cold storage and just download, use and then port them over whenever I want seems like an option that they should probably patch in at some point.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
And also the SSD expansion slot will not work at launch. So they they are currently trying to basically verify multiple types of NVMe SSDs, and because hey, we need to make sure these work right so that the games load in the same way that the one that's built in loads. Because holy shit, I don't think Miles Morales is a real video game because that loading screen is ridiculous. As in there is none.
Yeah, we mentioned it last week, didn't we? How it's literally like seconds, really.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid. And then also there is the PS. Did we mention the PSVR situation last week, Jacob?
No.
PSVR on PS5 doesn't actually. It's weird. So like, if you want to play Hitman 3, which is coming to PS5 in VR, you have to use the PS4 version of the game.
Oh, weird.
Because PS5 doesn't support old PSVR, and it sounds like that Sony might be dropping PSVR in total anyway.
I
Mostly
wouldn't blame
because
them, I guess.
but it did well for them,
Yeah,
and
it did
there's
okay.
plans and there's patents and plans out there of like, hey, there's a PSVR 2 on the way. But I wouldn't be surprised if that this is a roundabout way of them supporting this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
For the time being. No, the PS5 seems like all the reviews are starting to come out. It sounds like it's another PlayStation.
Yeah.
And the Xbox sounds like it's another Xbox. This is the world we live in. These consoles are now just things that you get, like when you upgrade your phone.
It's diminishing returns at this point, isn't it? Really.
Which
it's like, yeah,
at
it
the same
does
time,
all these things very slightly better than your previous one did. It's not like this massive jump in quality anymore.
Which is fine.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I've got the weekend booked off for when mine's going to be here.
There is slight FOMO starting to set in as I see more people talk about the controller.
Yeah, I mean, that's the main takeaway I've seen, that people are really kind of shouting from the rooftops as people are saying about how nice the controller is.
The real close-ups of the little knobbly shapes on the controller. Has nobody seen the knobbly shapes?
The little knobbly shapes.
The PlayStation shapes are embedded into the controllers.
Texture grip is all the little.
And the way he worded that was knobbly shapes. Yeah,
knobbly shapes.
Square, triangle, knobbly shapes.
He sounds like a children's TV show presenter.
What the fuck kind of children's TV did you watch?
Who is it, guys? It's knobbly shapes.
Hey.
Speaking of knobbly shapes,
right?
Yep.
Did you know Pokemon Go has earned $1 billion in 2020 alone?
I did see that. That's like a quarter of what they've made in total.
Fuck me.
Just this
so
year.
I guess that weird advertising blitz that they did of like Relive 2016. Did you see these?
No.
Where they were like, I constantly got these Pokemon ads, the Pokemon Go ads of like Relive 2016. Pokemon Go has changed.
Yeah, I remember the one that was just like, Pokemon Go has changed a lot since that summer of 2016.
But now relive it, and it's just like, but I did see on Twitter somebody got their account banned again because obviously, like, Niantic are keeping track of how people move and stuff like that to prevent.
If you change your location twice in a time that's not feasible for human travel, you will get banned.
But this person was is in an electric wheelchair.
Shit!
And is moving like an electric wheelchair would allow him to, and so.
Yeah, but I use it in a car all the time.
Yeah, but then you just have to say that you're a passenger.
Yeah, they can definitely tell between a car and walking, but I bet no one on that team has really considered or has spoken to anybody from within who might be bound to an electric wheelchair.
We need to get Fran a scooter.
Oh, she would love that. My mum still, obviously, as you know, still relentlessly
has contributed $500 million.
So, for example, when her and I went shopping yesterday, because she's our bubble, I was in the passenger seat as she drove, and she passed me her phone and she was like, "Get me some research." But she's well picky about what research she wants.
Oh,
I
yeah,
have to read them out, and she'll be like, "No, bin that off, bin that
No,
off."
Don't do that.
I'll be like, "Oh, 3 good curveball throws in a row," and she's like, "Absolutely not. What are you thinking?" And I'm just like, "Oh," and I'll be like, 10 Pokemon with the weather. Oh yeah, keep that one.
Keep
Keep that
that.
one.
Go on.
Honestly, it's like
Wow.
slave
She
driver.
knows what's up.
She does. She knows what she wants. She's a woman. She's a woman with power.
Speaking of power,
Oh god, these tangents
I'm
again.
these tangents, these segues are gonna keep coming harder and harder.
I love them.
So apparently, Codemasters is up for sale.
Oh,
Codemasters of car games
can we buy it?
Can we buy it?
is
Joe,
well. So
can we buy it?
Can we?
No,
get
we've
it?
got Codemasters at home. You look around and it's some weird Russian Steam game mining Bitcoin off the back of your thing. No, so they're in talks with 2K, Take-Two Interactive, which own Rockstar and 2K Games, and supposedly the money being thrown around is $973.48 million.
Yikes.
Which is a large number for a studio that is based out of Leamington Spa.
So you're saying we can't buy it?
No, sorry.
You mean we'll never get to develop a sequel to Clive Barker's Jericho?
Or Onrush?
Well, no, because Onrush has been shut down.
That's why it needs a sequel, Joel.
God, that Onrush was pretty cool.
I'm literally just I'm looking at what else they got. Dirt Rally.
F1. They basically
the F1
have
games,
the
that was
license
it.
for they have the license for the Formula One titles.
Didn't they do?
I'm gonna guess
Colin
that
McRae games?
Yeah, I think that was what became
Oh wait,
the
that
Dirt.
just became Dirt, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So Dirt 5 launches. Well, it's just launched November 6th.
Wow. Literally yesterday.
Literally
Not to age
yesterday.
this.
Was it ever Colin McRae's Dirt, or did it just go straight?
I think so. I think it was a subtitle initially.
Why am I imagining some shady guy in the back of in like a trench coat, like call me Colin McRae. I have some dirt.
Didn't Colin McRae die?
He did. I think that's probably why they stopped. So yeah, there was Colin McRae Dirt and Colin McRae Dirt 2, and then they did Colin McRae Rally, and then it just became Dirt.
Wow.
Oh, he died quite a while ago.
He did. It was quite a few years ago now.
Yikes.
Oh, but 2011 he was blamed for the fatal helicopter crash. So moving on. There is
Noel Edmonds, am I right?
There is a going through the Twitter sphere. There is the voice actor for Leon Kennedy in Resident Evil 2 remake. It back in mocap.
Oh.
Alongside the voice actress for Jill Valentine.
Jill.
So Resident Evil next one.
Next one.
Do they?
Well,
Do they remake 4?
Is Jill in 4? I don't think she was.
No,
she
she was.
That's where I thought you were going when you said that Leon was back in the mocap booth or whatever.
Yeah, so people think this might be related to the very rumored Resident Evil 4 remake.
Are we sure this isn't just for the CGI Netflix thing?
No, I think those are different actors, aren't they?
Oh yeah, I don't know. I've not followed it.
Those CGI things are fucking abysmal. Like so far, have you ever seen any of the animated Resident Evil movies that are all totally canon?
No, I don't have a good history with Resident Evil.
Yeah, they're terrible. There is a gunfight between Chris and the villain that I didn't know a 9mm Magnum 9mm pistol could shoot that many bullets. Nor could a human being run past a bullet. They basically have a fist fight with guns.
Sounds very anime.
it's incredibly anime and incredibly dumb and the worst, and also kind of cool.
Better or worse than the real life movies, though?
They're better than the real life movies. They're better than the real life movies. Those are borderline experimental.
Mm.
What a polite
Ollie
way of
got it.
describing that.
Ollie got it. And then the last thing from the Twitter sphere is so Ubisoft have removed a controversial host from Watchdog Legion's podcast stuff.
I was reading about this this morning. Yeah.
Helen Lewis.
Mm.
Basically, Helen Lewis is a massive transphobe.
Yes.
So Ubisoft were like, rather than alienating a portion of our audience in this game about freedom and,
Well, yeah.
This is what based on what Watch Dogs
Pretty
is
much the
about.
MO, yeah.
Yeah, like,
These
hey,
games.
maybe this isn't good for our bottom line and we should just remove her, which is, that's the business speaking, but also morally speaking, like, hey, this person doesn't think these people should exist, so oh well, bye.
Let's get rid of that.
So this fucking goon, this Ian Donut,
So
Ian
is
Dunt,
this the other voice actor or something that came out in support of her?
in defense, saying that trans issues are a legitimate debate, and it's like,
Not really though.
No, like the the human rights for a subsect of the human race is not.
It's not really up for discussion, is it?
It's
They should
not
probably
really
just
up for
have
discussion.
rights.
They should just probably have rights at this point. This guy writes, is the editor of politics.co.uk.
Thepolitician.com.
Here's Ian Donut.
Is that actually his name?
No, Ian Dunt, but
Right.
I'm not
Donut.
willing to drop the C-bomb at this point in time.
Hey.
But yeah, fuck. Like, so yeah, there's. I don't know. There are people that are much smarter about this and much more in depth about this sort of thing, who are actively talking to him over Twitter much more nicely than I could ever do.
Well,
so
he's bad.
It's
People are
bad.
stupid.
It's bad. People are dumb as fuck.
Support your trans rights.
Yeah, hell yeah. The dog has just walked straight into the room.
The dog loves trans rights.
Oh, tell JJ I love him.
He's very confused. So that'll be it. That'll be it.
However,
unless there's anything else.
However, you seem to be forgetting something very
important.
important.
Have we got another question?
It's not another question per se.
Okay.
Don't worry, Jacob. It's a terrible segment.
Oh.
That's right. I hope you're all ready for something that I don't know why this happened in my brain. What are you? Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Oh, okay.
I'm stretching out my sleeves.
You look very pensive.
I'm on the edge of my seat right now.
I don't know. This year is a very strange year, so I just wanted to find something ridiculous. So, channel yourselves.
What are you reaching for?
My laptop.
Oh.
Why
are you reaching for your laptop?
So I can send the photos.
Photos?
I literally told you about this.
There's pictures.
Right, so I just imagine that we're all at a really shit sleepover.
Okay.
It's basically what my life is.
Thanks. And we're gonna play a quick game of Fuck, Marry, Kill.
Whoa, okay.
But with characters from Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Okay.
All right, now we're talking.
That's right. I knew that I would get Jacob in with this. So round one.
It's a shame. Literally, my Blue Lions varsity jacket is in the wash right now.
Oh, do you actually have one?
Yeah, Hannah got me one.
Oh, that is
for either birthday or Christmas.
What are you trying to do here?
Yeah.
Popping it. Hang on. Round one is coming up.
Round one follows this dead air.
So, while Lauren's loading that up, obviously me and Lauren are big Three Houses heads. Ollie, you've played a fair amount of it, right?
I'd call him a Three Houses head
yes,
too.
I'm also a big
Okay,
fan.
cool. And
I'm
Joel,
actually-
you've played some of it.
I'd actually.
I have.
So I
got to the time skip.
Okay.
I thought I'd start off with the obvious one.
Oh, this is
which
going to make me want
is-
to play it again, isn't it?
Yeah, that's.
Oh.
I've also been wanting to play it again, so I think this
Wow.
is
All these games I need to play. I mean, there's no question. I didn't even have to look at the picture.
round
Very
one.
easy.
The leaders of the Three Houses: Dimitri of Blue Lions, Edelgard of Black Eagles, and Claude of Golden Deer. I'm interested in your thoughts.
Like I say, I didn't even need the picture based on this. I mean, it's an obvious marry for Dimitri.
Agree.
He's my best boy. Claude is a hot piece of ass. He can definitely get the fuck.
hmm
And Edelgard can go die in a well, as far as I'm concerned. So
I completely agree with Jacob.
So
There you
I went Black Eagles first.
Because you wanted waifu
So
Edelgard.
I feel like for that reason, I should maybe lean towards Edelgard, but at the same time, she turns into a little bit of a fascist.
she does. Do you want to live with that for the rest of your life? I mean,
I feel like I've got to bash the fash.
Kill the fash.
And Dimitri, doesn't he?
He goes a bit crazy and has
he goes a
one
bit
eye.
edgy, yeah.
Post time,
Understandably so.
He's a bit of a beefcake,
And he has one eye, so he's got that
yeah,
edge
so
goes
he
for him.
can rail me. And then me and Claude are kind of on. I feel like me and Claude would be on the same wavelength. And
I feel like he'd smoke a fat one.
He's the most stable.
We'd vibe together.
He got some good facial hair in the time skip too.
He got a chin strap. Don't
does.
describe that as good, or else you know what I'm gonna do.
Oh
It's
no!
for you to get it, Ollie, yeah.
Joel?
Kill the fash.
Nice.
Yeah.
Marry the yellow dudes.
Acceptable.
I put their names there specifically for you,
Oh, yeah.
Joel, because I
The
knew
yellow
that you wouldn't remember the names of people. I downloaded the font for you.
For me, yeah, probably marry Claude, fuck Dimitri.
I'll accept that.
Yeah.
That's it, because
we're all killing Edelgard, so
Yeah, that's the part that really
like,
counts.
We are throwing her into a well and then pouring oil in the well and throwing a match down the well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never felt so betrayed.
Did you go Black Eagles first?
I did.
Oh.
Well, I only ever played Black Eagles.
But also fuck the church as well.
Yeah, fuck the church as
well. Yeah, they ain't great.
Yeah.
But like I get what Edelgard fights against.
Yeah.
But then she goes all dictator about it.
This is not the right way to do it.
No. Right. Okay. Faculty round.
That was the easy one, yeah.
Faculty round.
Oh,
so obviously
just my microphone.
There's a lot of faculty, so I just picked 3.
Okay.
Okay.
Faculty round. When it decides to send.
I never really invested much time into the teachers themselves, really.
Nah.
So
okay.
I had to include. Okay, so obviously for the podcast people, we're fuck, marry, kill Seteth, Manuela, or Aloe.
Aloe writes a joke book, and that's
Alois is a funny guy.
Spend my life with.
Manuela's got the tits.
Manuela's a hoe, so like she'd probably prey on me anyway. So yeah. And Seth's a green-haired cunt.
Oh,
so
he gets more wholesome later on.
Nah, he can fucking die.
All right.
I have to agree with Ollie. I think Ollie's choices match up with exactly how.
Yeah.
I don't remember this end dude at all.
Alois, you don't really have to interact with him too much.
That'll be why then.
He's just kind of there.
One of his,
he's funny.
His, like collectible items is his joke book.
He's just like the biggest buffoon in the game. Like he's very much a hurdy-dur fighting, and then he's just kind of useless at everything. But
no, that would be Raphael.
Yeah, but that's wholesome. We love Raphael.
No, I'm not huge on Raphael.
Raphael is just beef.
He's a beefy boy.
Raphael is Braun Strowman.
Well,
Raphael voted Trump.
I'm a bit stuck. I'm not really sure what way I'm going to go on this. I'd like to marry Manuela either way, but I don't know. I feel like Setith.
Manuela has a serious drinking problem.
Yeah, do you not remember when you find her like passed out on the floor?
Yeah, but yeah, maybe I'm into that. You guys don't know.
Okay.
Warning you what you're setting yourself up for.
Don't
Nah,
go
she's-
into a relationship thinking you can change the other person.
Yeah, you know.
I mean, helping someone through alcoholism isn't really changing them.
Yeah, but you're signing up for a relationship, not a therapist.
Maybe we could get drunk
patient.
together.
Well,
And as older
that's an
ladies
option.
go, yeah, you know,
she
seems
got the
quite nice.
boobies.
Yeah, and
So-
generally speaking, I'd marry Manuela of the three,
Mm.
and I feel like Alois would be a lot more of a caring lover than Setith is.
Yeah, Setith is very cold.
So, yeah, I'd probably fuck Alois, and then I'm sorry, Setith. I don't hate him by any stretch, but yeah, I'm afraid he'd have to die.
Oh well.
Yeah, Sesseth has fucked once and then that's it.
Seteth
Poor guy.
only fucks to breed.
We're going boys next.
Oh, boys
So-
picks.
Felix, Ferdinand, and Raphael.
Oh,
Now,
Mhm.
I had Ferdinand because I did.
And you
Like
can't just call
Eagles.
him Ferdinand. It's Ferdinand von Ager
wait a minute,
because
I'm
It's
Ferdinand
pronounced
Bonnier.
Ire.
yeah,
Yeah.
well,
But he's Tory as fuck. So
I'm marrying
he
Felix.
can get out of here.
Felix is one true love is for me. I
Mm.
love it.
You marry Raphael so that you get all those delicious dinners. You kill
Look at his-
Ferdinand because he's Tory, and then you use Felix.
No, I marry
I think
Felix.
I think I'm with Joel. Raphael, I think Raphael voted Trump, but I don't think he got the education to know any better. So I could change him.
Raphael's the only dude that I actually put the work in to recruit outside of the
Oh,
Oh,
Eagles.
Felix is who
weird.
I went for first time playing it. I love Felix. He's the edgy guy. You know, he's your angsty. Nobody loves me. I'm just gonna fight all the time. But oh no, I've actually got feelings.
That's why she went for me.
You absolutely no. You're a dandelion.
Just want to fight.
Yeah, I'm marrying Felix, and I'm also killing Ferdinand, and I'll probably boink Raphael.
you put me in a tough situation here because I've married both Felix and Ferdinand in my playthroughs.
Have you?
Yeah, my Black Eagles was Ferdinand, and obviously Blue Lions was not Felix. Actually, that was my church playthrough. I had Felix. Raphael's definitely dying either way. I don't care for
I
Raphael.
always ship Felix and Ingrid.
That's
Mm,
cute.
I ship Felix with myself.
Yeah.
We
I
are
feel like
open
Felix. I feel like Felix would just be a bit of a misery to live with on a day-to-day basis, though.
Oh no!
As much as I love him, and I feel like Ferdinand would take care of me.
Could you live with a Tory though?
I'd be a house husband or something. Yeah, he's lined up to be the prime minister. So I think I'd marry Ferdy, and
Wow.
Felix can give me a good time.
Wow, and he would give
He
you a
would.
good time.
As much as I love him, yeah, I just don't think I could bear him on a day-to-day basis.
And for the final round,
The gals.
the gals.
Oof.
So we are up for Annette and Petra and Lysithea. I put Annette in
can't
here
believe you've done
purely.
this.
Yes, I was going to use Ingrid for the Blue Lions gal, but then I was like, hang on, wait. Jacob went with Annette, and I don't
Oh,
understand.
Isn't Lysithea the youngest character?
Yes, but I love her.
Yeah.
She's my
Why-
favourite
Why did you make it Nancy?
because I love
So
her.
you've successfully managed to pick the other two people who I've married as well.
Knew it. They are the best gals. Lysithea is the best golden deer gal.
I love Petra.
I know you do. That's why I put Petra in here, not Bernadetta.
I feel like my first and one true love was Annie, so I feel like I'd have to marry Annette.
I'm very surprised that you went for Annette because
These are all. just
I'm a
given
little
with
bit scared because I don't know if
realization that
Hannah's
they are all
downstairs and she
school
can hear me.
children.
Shh, it's animated. It's
she
not real.
can. I just said I'm a little bit scared because I didn't know whether Hannah was downstairs or whether she could hear me or not. Because Lysithia's her main gal, and
I
she cosplays
love-
Lysithia as well.
Yes, I love Lysithia. She is my favourite female character.
I have just said Annie, so I don't know what she's going to do to me when I get downstairs.
Oh yes, my one true love is Annie. Sorry, Hannah.
Whoops. So yeah, it makes it
marrying
kind of
Petra.
yeah.
Okay, so you're marrying Petra.
And then the other
Yeah,
two can
marrying
do what they
Petra.
want.
No, okay,
Uh,
I'm marrying Lysithia, banging Petra, and sorry,
Wow.
Jacob, I'm killing Annie.
Petra's
Yeah,
gonna
this-
die
this-
for me. Lysithia can.
This creepy ginger
yeah,
chick
be
can
the
fucking
in-between.
Annie,
do one.
I've never really
I've never liked
interacted
Annette.
with her.
She's my
so
least favourite.
awesome.
No.
Oh, she looks like
She's lovely.
she's got murder eyes.
Also,
She's
her
got-
dad is like watching over her at all times.
Yeah.
Mate, her dad wanted to get with me as well. By the end of it, when I could choose who I wanted to marry at the end, I'd been romancing Annette throughout most of the playthrough, but then suddenly one of the options was Gilbert. And I was like, I could have
Can
just
you
been like,
imagine- sorry, Annette, I'm in
"Yeah,
love with
sorry,
your dad.
Annie. I'm running off with your dad."
fucking
Yeah,
Gilbert.
fucking
I love-
Gilbert.
I love-
Oh, Jacob, now you need to play it again and romance Gilbert.
On my next Blue Lions playthrough, I'll romance Gilbert.
I'm surprised
Oh,
you didn't
shit.
pick Leonie based on the fact that her entire character is that she wants to shag your dad.
Loves your dad, yeah. Well,
Yeah, I love Lysithia. She's a bit of a glass cannon, but she's super OP.
oh, she's insane. She's the best character in the game in
Love
terms
her.
of actual fighting and such. So
I
yeah,
will give it to Annette. She does get an okay time skip outfit.
yeah, she was
I
good.
was gutted at time skip Mercedes because
Oh,
I
it's
had a
the worst.
massive girl crush on Mercedes, and then she fucking chopped all her hair off.
It
Why
became
is this
nun.
such a? Why is this an anime trope that girls just chop their hair off like little boys? No
Big nun
offense to
energy.
little boy haircuts. That's fine if that's what you like, But for me, I was just so gutted because it looked shit.
It
and
was
she became a
definitely the
nun.
worst redesign, yeah.
Yeah, hated it. Whereas
Yeah.
I loved Felix and his man bun.
It was good. One day
And
I'll cosplay
Lysithia.
him. It's been in the
Oh.
pipeline for a very long time, but naturally conventions haven't been happening. So there's
Just
been
walk
no
around the
need.
house like that. Just
Yeah,
stroll around.
just have a day where it's just you and Hannah as Felix and Lysithia. Monty, what would you like to
Just
be? One
living
of the
day to day. Yeah,
from
it
the
could be.
church?
Yeah.
Oh,
But yeah.
he's got a piece of ore in his mouth.
Marionette, kill Petra, and Lysithia can show me a good time, I guess.
Joel, what did you say? You were killing Annette, but who were
Uh,
you marrying?
He was with me.
Petra, marrying Petra, and then Lysithia
me
is
and, me and
you know,
Joel are on
whatever.
the same wavelength about everything. I think.
Two anime for me.
Ah.
There you
Well,
go.
this is a very strange idea that happened, and I just
I
decided.
liked it. It took me out of my comfort zone. I wasn't expecting it, but I had a good time.
Yeah.
Should we...
Next week, Joel gets his turn with a Metal Gear Solid Fuck, Marry, Kill.
Oh, okay. Next
Okay.
week, I'll do it.
Okay.
Boss.
Okay. Everyone
Metal
gets
Gear
a turn
Ray or
at making.
Farewell Sausage.
Everyone gets a turn at doing a one of
Oh
these.
goodness! I'm gonna have to think ahead.
So
Um,
there you go.
So should we end this show with some good news?
Okay.
Oh,
One, BioWare's long-rumored Mass Effect Legendary Edition is coming. Remastered editions of the first 3 games
Oh, did
in spring
Ooh.
2021.
we get an official?
There is a trailer in
thing?
front of me
Oh.
of high quality
That's
yeah.
That's pretty
animation
rad.
of, and then also Joe Biden has won the presidency.
Yeah.
Hey.
What a
I-
guy!
I found that out through a Gary Lineker tweet. Because as I think I've said on the podcast before, for some reason, the only person Twitter gives me notifications for is Gary Lineker.
The crisp man has spoken.
Yeah.
Joe
The
Biden.
new president
tweet.
shall be on cocktail.
Yes, a just win for the best crisp.
Amazing.
Well, that's blatantly wrong.
We'll inaugurate Joe Biden by opening up a packet of
prawn
prawn
cocktail.
cocktail mix.
Fucking great way to see in the new presidency. Prawn cocktail for everyone.
And Donald Trump will be force-fed Worcestershire sauce crisps.
Worcester
they are the
Worcester.
worst.
I just don't like salt and vinegar.
No, neither do I.
Wow.
I don't like cheese and onion either.
No, cheese and
Wow.
onion's gross.
No, that's.
I'd rather have ready salted than anything else.
Yeah, I like.
I like
salt.
Marmite
Basic bitch.
Walkers.
Okay, no.
Yeah.
So on that good news, I guess because
We
Hey,
somehow made it about Gary Lineker.
yeah.
Thanks, Gary. See us out.
Yeah. Goodbye, Gary Lineker.
Vice President Gary Lineker.
All right, that's it. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.